Got caught and brought to the Succubus Academy as teaching equipment. I get drained by the students in turns for 10 hours every day. That dim corridor up ahead is where I go for my shifts. Rooms with lit door numbers mean a fellow worker is putting in a shift inside. Rooms with dark door numbers mean the person inside has already been completely drained. The only value men have here is to be treated as labor equipment. If junior succubus trainees don't follow orders, they get severely punished by the disciplined succubi. Right now, 2 succubus guards walk out of the room with the unlit door number,
Carrying a senior worker?
The people in the line mostly look completely indifferent. They're obviously already used to this. Suddenly, there's a loud crack. The guard, Lucy, whips me hard across the back. She points at the room where the guy just died, tells me to go work in that room. The room looks almost like a regular bedroom. There's a big bed and toys scattered all over the floor. I sit on the chair and wait quietly. It wasn't long before the door was pushed open. A succubus student walked in. She froze for a second when she saw me. Then a delighted look crossed her face. "Oh, a conscious new guy," I nodded. "Sort of. I just got here yesterday." Talking to a beautiful stranger still makes me a little nervous. The beauty walked over and looked me over curiously. Her intense gaze made me feel embarrassed. I subconsciously looked away from her. That only piqued her interest even more. I just got promoted to the middle grade not long ago. I've only been here about 10 times. Most of the guys here are basically lifeless. They're no fun at all. Didn't expect I'd get lucky this time, the beauty said with a big happy laugh. I didn't know what to say. I didn't dare look her in the eye the whole time. It was like her eyes had magic in them. One look and you'd get trapped. Seeing I kept quiet the whole time, she got up and sat straight down on my lap. She forced my chin up to make me look her in the eye. "Why aren't you talking? You keep avoiding looking at me. Are you shy or something?" I tensed up all over from shock. Forced to hold eye contact with her, I could feel the charm power radiating from her eyes, and her body scent too. Just a whiff was enough to make me lose control. The girl gave a mischievous grin. "Oh wow, even though you're not talking." "Your body is already giving me the answer." Her smooth, delicate hand slowly slid down to my neck, stoking it gently, then suddenly grabbed me by the throat, starting to squeeze tighter. Squeezing little by little, I realized something was wrong as she squeezed even harder. I tried to push her away, but her physical strength was way beyond what I could fight against. Gradually, the feeling of suffocation spread through my whole body. My entire face turned blue-purple. The beauty looked at my expression with a sick fascination, until I was about to pass out from lack of air. She finally let go of my throat, then burst out laughing. "That's amazing, so perfect." Sure enough, conscious guys are way more fun. "You look so hot like that." I gasped for air heavily. Now I finally understand what Senior Kalen meant. These succubi are actually just like humans. They come in different types, different personalities, and I had really bad luck today. I ran into this kind of sadistic succubus. For the rest of the session, this seemingly gentle beauty tortured me in every way possible. The toys in the room became tools to hit and whip me with. As far as I'm concerned, she's a total psycho, a perverted lunatic. I yelled and cursed at her, but my curses only made her laugh even harder. "Oh, you're so cute. Keep cursing. The more worked up you get, the more fear and anger you produce. Those are my favorite mental snacks, you know." Before I knew it, the sun had set. After seeing off the last succubus, I could finally take a break. I lay down on the messy, dirty bed, staring blankly at the ceiling. Life here might make some people really happy, but it's definitely not the life I want. I dragged my exhausted body to the sink. Looking at my weak, pale face in the mirror, I clenched my fist and punched it angrily. There was a loud crash. The mirror shattered. I picked up a piece of the broken mirror, holding it against my neck. And just then, the door opened. Lucy was standing at the door. "Think you can go through with it? If not, put your clothes on and get out here right now. The other workers are already waiting outside." I sighed, turned around, picked up my clothes off the floor, and walked out. When Kaylin saw me walk out, she hurried over to check on me. "Are you okay? What happened to your hand?" "Nothing, I cut it by accident," I said coldly. Looking at Kaylin limping, I could guess what she had gone through that day. Neither of us said anything else. We just patted each other on the shoulder, then joined the line together. Led by guard Lucy, we arrived at a bathhouse. We all got in the bath one after another. The water in this bath is specially made for cleaning and recovery, but it's not as effective as the recovery candies. How should I put it? It's like how you clean equipment when it gets dirty. If humans here want freedom and dignity, they have to become semi-independent residents. But to become semi-independent, you first have to be high-grade equipment. Only then can you get access to the more powerful succubus students. In the days that followed, I lived this same life on repeat. Drained during the day, exhausted and resting at night. The only thing I could rely on was the life-saving candy I got every 3 days. The candy helped me recover a little. A month passed in the blink of an eye. During this month, I met countless stunning beauties. All of them had amazing figures, hot and passionate, and I gradually got used to this kind of life. But time hasn't worn me down. If anything, it's made my edges sharper than ever. The longer I stay here, the more I hate this place. I hate all of these succubi. At first I was shy, nervous, and flustered. Now I'm completely expressionless. All that's in my eyes is cold hatred. No matter if they're gentle type or perverted sadistic succubi, I treat all of them the same. In the dim room, the violent succubus has both hands around my throat, her scarlet eyes staring daggers at me. Be scared, be terrified, I'll kill you. Drink every drop of your blood, eat every bit of your flesh. Faced with the succubus's threats, I kept a completely blank face the whole time. My gaze was ice cold. Even when I was on the verge of suffocating, I didn't feel an ounce of fear. When I was about to pass out, the succubus let go of me. She tilted her head back, looking pleased yet frustrated at the same time. I lost again. I always lose. The defeated succubus lowered her head, stoking the bruise on my neck. There was frustration and obsession in her eyes. Why are you so rebellious? Why aren't you scared of me? Why won't you beg for mercy? Why won't you give in and fall? I looked at her coldly. Are we done? If we are, just leave. There are others waiting in line. The defeated succubus pouted and acted coquettish. That cute look makes you seem like a completely different person. What? Are you really that desperate to get rid of me? I like you so much, you know. Can you at least crack a smile for me? If it were any regular person, they'd definitely find this person super cute. But I've been here for a whole month. I know exactly what this bastard is really like. He's all smiles on the surface, but he's actually a total schemer. His favorite thing is to put toys on people, just to watch them suffer. After that person left, I didn't even have time to rest. And someone else came in right away. It was a succubus with a gentle personality, so I could finally relax a little, at least. When work ended for the night, Lucy came looking for us right away. Since Kaylin and I performed well, we've been promoted to high-grade equipment. Led by Lucy, Kaylin and I left this prison building and arrived at a slightly nicer apartment complex. Over here, I saw quite a few relatively normal-looking men, but most of these guys looked completely worn out and listless. Kaylin swallowed hard and said excitedly, "The upperclassman area. If I can meet a succubus sister with lots of credits, get her to spend credits to buy me, and become her exclusive equipment, I won't have to let everyone push me around anymore." Lucy chimed in to warn us. That makes sense. If you end up with a decent succubus master, your life will be a lot easier from here on out. But if you get a pervert, your life will only be way more miserable. No matter how much she bullies or tortures you, the Academy has no authority to interfere. Hearing Lucy's warning, Kaylin's excited mood instantly cooled off. Sister Lucy, how do I tell if a master is good or not? That's hard to say. It's like when you humans date. You can never tell what a person is really like. From an outsider's perspective, you have to actually date them to find out. That said, there are ways to get a surface-level read. If that's what you're looking for, you can ask other succubi for information. Kaylin followed up with another question. Then, Sister Lucy, do you know any suitable succubi? Could you introduce us to some? Lucy stopped walking when she heard that and looked at him with amusement. Of course I can. But do you trust me? Of course I do, Kaylin said without hesitation. Lucy chuckled softly, turned around to stand in front of Kaylin, and pinched his cheek. Her gaze was ice cold. If you trust me, you're dead wrong. You have no idea what kind of succubi they are. Not at all. Trusting me will only get you killed faster. Kaylin stared at those icy eyes, too scared to move a muscle. But luckily, Lucy didn't mean any harm. After letting go of him, she continued, "One last warning for you two. Never trust anything a succubus says. Succubi don't feel love, only desire. The only reason I'm nice to you is simply because you're not worth scheming against yet. If you can become semi-independent beings, you might even be worthy of being conquered by me. We arrived at our own dorm room, and after settling in briefly, Lucy took us to a place that looked like a hotel and handed out our personal ID tags. They had our names and numbers on them. Remember, now that you're high-grade equipment, you have to learn to commute to and from work on your own. The academy will set different salaries for you, based on your popularity and how much work you do. Swiping your card at the door counts as clocking in and out. Showing up late or leaving early will get your credits deducted. Got it, Kaylin complained. Clock in and out for work, 9:96 schedule. You didn't learn any of the good stuff from humans, but you sure picked up all the bad things real quick. Lucy just smiled faintly in response. Yeah, we have you guys to thank for that. Before we adopted your human systems, we didn't have proper rules, so a lot of equipment was poorly managed and broke easily. Ever since we copied your human systems, the rate of equipment damage has dropped a lot. We walked into the lobby. There were tons of succubi here, all of them stunningly beautiful, exuding an alluring, intoxicating scent. Compared to the middle and lower grade students we'd met before, the succubi here had far stronger succubus powers, way more powerful. You could tell just from their allure that they weren't easy to deal with. While we were sizing them up, the succubi here were checking me out too, especially when they saw we were still in pretty good shape. They got even more excited. Oh, new meat. They look pretty lively, huh? Bet they look real cute when they cry. Come on, he's such a cute little guy. Why would you want to make him cry? We should make him happy. Make him fall completely under my spell. Watch him break and fall apart little by little. Listening to all the chatter around us, I knew right away. I'd just escaped the wolf's den only to walk straight into the tiger's mouth. My expression grew even colder. My eyes filled with cold disdain. Little did I know, in that crowd, there was someone who was exactly drawn to my coldness. She was the 3-time consecutive, top-ranked cold beauty of the lower grades. Her power was on par with upperclassmen, a total celebrity at the Succubus Academy. She also had a nickname, the disgrace of all succubi. Tfana, a succubus, was a total germaphobe and refused to touch men. Looking at Tfana, who kept staring right at me, I sighed and turned to look at her and asked, "Why are you staring at me like that? Is something wrong? I'm very interested in you."
This is the first time I've ever met.
A man as clean as you? You're very special. Clean. I've been messed with by God knows how many succubi, and you call me clean. That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Really? I think you really are clean. Your eyes, your scent, your voice. Tfana said every word slowly and deliberately. Her dead serious expression made me wonder if she was out of her mind. The second day after becoming high-grade equipment, I saw all the waiting succubi as soon as I walked in the door. It was so ridiculous I couldn't even say anything. All these succubi are total horn dogs. They even showed up this early just for this. They're earlier than us, the people who actually work here. Looking at all these waiting succubi, I had all sorts of mixed feelings. I finally understood now. The miserable life of ancient courtesans. I hope today goes smoothly. I sighed and sat on the edge of the bed, waiting for a day of being tortured by succubi. After a while, the door opened. To my surprise, the person who walked in was that silver-haired cold succubus from yesterday. It's Miss Tfana. I asked confusedly, "You remember my name?" Looks like you do remember me after all. Tfana closed the door and walked over with a cold expression on her face. She was wearing the academy uniform. Her figure was extremely curvy and alluring, but that icy demeanor of hers was so confusing. How can a succubus be this cold? Because you're very special.
This is the first time I've ever met.
A succubus as cold as you. This is also the first time I've met a human man as cold as you. You've been here so long, and you still haven't been defiled by other succubi. Tfana walked up to me and reached out her cold, delicate hand to tilt my chin up. Look me in the eyes. I was a little surprised by the word defile, but I still reminded her that she might have gotten the wrong idea. I've made bets with many succubi. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your scent. Tfana leaned close to my neck. She took a deep breath. She lifted her head. She said with a satisfied look, "All the men I've met have such messy scents on them. They reek of all kinds of succubi scents. That's from magic erosion. It means they've already been defiled. But you're different. Your scent is very pure. It only smells like you." I nodded half understandingly. "So that's why you came to me. I remember you're a lower classman. You probably don't have many credits, right? The cost of advanced equipment is pretty high, isn't it?" Tfana said confidently. "You don't have to worry about that. I'm the top of my grade after all." I have enough credits to even buy you, no problem. Oh, really? That's good then. So do we start now? The cold, aloof succubus frowned. I should be the one saying that line. It sounds cheap coming from you. Cheap? I froze for a second. That was another surprise. She used defile just now. And now she uses cheap. Is that something a succubus should say? You spent credits to come find me? Isn't it just for that kind of stuff? Tfana stared right into my eyes. She said seriously, I just think you're very special. I don't want you to be like those degenerate men. I chuckled softly. Well, that's really rare. I never thought there'd be a saint like you. In this succubus academy, no wonder you've stayed in the lower grades. You don't deserve to be a succubus at all. Don't I deserve it? A lot of succubi say that. Maybe I really don't, but I only follow my own heart. As she spoke, Tfana breathed softly on me. It was just a single breath, but my body started trembling uncontrollably. I turned my head around and looked at Tfana in shock. Only Lucy was supposed to have this strong a charm power. I never thought Tfana would be this powerful too. This top lower-classman Tfana is really a pro. Seeing the shock in my eyes, Tfana curled the corner of her mouth slightly. Shocked, aren't you? I didn't even touch you? And you're already like this? I admit you're really good. So you really didn't come to have fun with me. You came to use me for training, Tfana said in a cold, clear tone. I'm not like those low-level succubi. There's one condition to catch my eye. That is, being able to resist my charm power. I burst out laughing right away. You're setting conditions for me. This is a succubus academy. Do you think this is the human world? Acting like anyone cares that much. At my disdain? Tfana didn't get mad at all. She showed great interest instead. You're really very special. You're obviously already affected by my succubus power, but you can still think clearly. What's the big deal? Don't underestimate men. Not every man only has lust on his mind. I stared at her tightly, not daring to let my guard down at all. The next second, silver sparkles emanated from all around Tfana. She tapped my forehead lightly with her finger. I fell onto the bed, unable to move, forced to look straight into Tfana's eyes. Right after that, I started sweating. My whole body was trembling. As desire fought against reason, my eyes rolled back at times, and went back to normal at other times. My body also arched upwards. After Tfana messed with me for a while, blood was coming out of all my orifices. I almost died. Seeing this, Tfana quickly stopped as well, looking at me covered in blood. Tfana was also startled. This was the first time she'd ever seen something like this. Normal people can't last a minute before they're consumed by lust. But I lasted 3 minutes and still kept my reason. I was so angry I spat out a mouthful of blood. Did you bring recovery candies? Recovery candies? I don't have those, but I have this. Tfana quickly took out a bottle of drink and handed it to me. I took the drink and chugged it right down. I never thought this drink's recovery effect would be so amazing. It's way more effective than recovery candies. Tfana asked concernedly, How is it? Does it work? I rolled my eyes at her annoyed. It's okay, I really can't stand you. You'll get credits deducted if you kill a high-grade test subject. Don't you know that? With that, I got up and walked to the bathroom. When I came out after cleaning up, I found Tfana still sitting by the bed zoning out. Hey, why haven't you left yet? Leave? You already made it through the test. I think we can start now. I walked over, sat next to Tfana, and complained. So you've made up your mind, right? Then don't pull these weird tricks to mess with me again. Someone messed with me like this just yesterday, and you're doing it again today. At this rate, I'll be dead in a few days. Tfana leaned forward and kissed me. Unlike what I imagined, she was very gentle. A little awkward, too. She didn't act like a succubus at all. She even looked a little nervous. As I watched Tfana while we kissed, she had her eyes closed, looking like she was enjoying it a lot. Her cold aura had faded a lot. Is this what kissing is like? Tfana slowly let go of my head. She licked her red lips reminiscingly. I asked curiously, Is this your first time kissing? Tfana admitted it openly. Do succubi have to kiss people? It's not like we have to do that kind of thing to absorb essence. Using magic to make men drown in lust works just as well for absorbing essence. As Tfana spoke, her eyes started turning blood red. Right now, she'd experienced the joy of lust through her first kiss. Her inherent nature as a succubus was also awakened. Looking at the excitement in Tfana's eyes, I knew what she said was true. Right now, she was truly starting to awaken her succubus instincts. She grabbed my hair, leaned close to my ear, and said in a seductive voice, You passed my test. You deserve to have my first time. Before I could react, A powerful succubus force burst out from her body, which made me, an ordinary human, pass out on the spot, even though it was her first time. Tfana really lived up to her reputation as a genius succubus. She messed around for 3 or 4 hours before leaving satisfied. Succubi grow stronger by feeding on human desires. Now I've helped Tfana break through this barrier. Combined with her natural talent, I'm afraid a succubus of this level is no longer something I can handle. After being messed with by Tfana yesterday, it will take a long time for my body to recover. They sell recovery drinks over there. But when I checked the price of the recovery drink, it costs 30 credits. The credits I earned from working these 3 days only add up to a little over 100 credits total. After paying for food and daily necessities, I only have a little over 50 credits left, Kaylin exclaimed from the side. 30 credits? That's way too ridiculous. I clenched my fist tightly. My face turned green with anger. Stupid academy. They're clearly not giving us any way to survive. Let's go, we're not buying it. I dragged Kaylin away from the vending machine. After we got back to the room, I took a shower and laid in bed as usual. I've completely given up now, just like a worker whose dreams have been shattered. I used to think that if I worked hard enough, life might get better. But turns out I don't even have enough credits to buy a single recovery drink. I feel like this broken body of mine won't be of any use even if I force myself to keep going. I might as well be dead. Just as I was letting my mind wander aimlessly, the bedroom door opened. Good morning. Tfana sat on the edge of the bed. Her lips parted slightly. The moment I saw her, I felt both frustrated and relieved. Frustrated because I knew a tough fight was unavoidable. Relieved because she actually showed up. I told you only you can satisfy me. Tfana gently stroked my cheek. I chuckled softly and said nothing. Maybe it was a mockery of her sweet words. Or maybe I was actually a little touched. Either way, I was pretty happy. Come on, I've given up anyway. I'll give you whatever little energy I have left. Consider it a payback for the first time you gave me. With that, I closed my eyes. But Tfana didn't make a move for a long time. That confused me a lot since I was all ready for it. She lay down on one side of the bed, propping her forehead with one hand, and looked me over with great interest. You spent so many credits to come see me. You didn't come just to look at me, did you? Tfana sat up and tossed her silver hair back. I can sense that your body is really worn out. You should get some proper rest. Instead of dragging yourself to work when you're this exhausted. I chuckled softly again. There was a hint of mockery in my smile. Why do you think I'm like this? Don't you know perfectly well? Tfana reached out and rubbed my chest gently. I know I'm the reason you ended up like this. But that doesn't mean you can just give up on yourself and ruin your own health like this. I roared angrily. Ruin myself like I even want to be here, if it weren't for that stupid rule. That I have to come here every day, clock in for work, and clock out when I'm done. Do you think I'd be here if I had a choice? Tfana didn't get mad at my outburst. She just nodded calmly. I see. I didn't know about that before. I thought you came here on your own will. On my own will? How do you even have the nerve to say that? Do I look like someone who's tired of living? Looking for ways to kill myself? Looking at how angry I was, Tfana's lips curved up slightly. Good thing you're not here voluntarily. I glared at her annoyed. Does that even matter? Tfana said seriously. It does. It means you didn't choose this. Most of the men I've met came here of their own free will. I snorted coldly. You've met quite a lot, haven't you? Quite a lot, but I only did it with one. That's you. My heart skipped a beat when I heard that. Even though I kept telling myself, never believe a succubus is nonsense. But when I heard those words, I couldn't help feeling secretly pleased. I walked over to the mirror. With my back to her, staring at my reflection, my once bright, handsome face now looked dull and lifeless. I don't even know how much longer I can live. I'm actually pretty interested in you. But if you wear me out every time we do this, I probably won't last more than a few days before I kick the bucket. I won't let you die. Tfana stood up and handed me a bottle of recovery drink. Looking at the recovery drink in front of me, I took it in shock. This stuff costs 30 credits a bottle. It's super expensive, Tfana said casually. Not really. Booking you once cost 100 credits. 30 credits is nothing. What? Booking me costs 100? Seeing how shocked I was, Tfana looked confused. What else as a high-grade equipment? It's normal for your price to be on the high side. But I'm curious. You get rented out at least 5 or 6 times a day, right? That should get you at least 500 credits a day. How can you not even afford a recovery drink? I stared at the recovery drink in my hand. My feelings were all mixed up. I only make 30 credits a day. Only 30? Tfana frowned. Oh, I get it. No wonder. I always wondered why so many high-grade equipment are so dull. I thought they were just all useless. Turns out their credits are being embezzled. I twisted off the bottle cap and gulped down the recovery drink. It's expensive, sure, but it really works. My depleted energy immediately picked up a lot. I feel way better. This stuff really works. I let out a long sigh of relief. Then I looked at Tfana. Let's do it. Okay? Tfana froze. You don't get it. I'm all recovered now. I can do it with you now. Tfana looked at me and shook her head. No, not yet. Your body only recovered temporarily. You're still really weak deep down. She took my hand, led me to the bed, and sat down. She placed her delicate hand on my forehead and closed her eyes. I had no idea what she was doing, but I cooperated obediently anyway. Besides, I could take advantage of her eyes being closed to get a good look at her breathtaking beauty. Succubi are such a joke of existence. They're the most beautiful creatures in the world, with unrivaled looks. Yet they do the most despicable work. Tfana's face was fair and smooth, not a single wrinkle in sight. Her skin was so soft it looked like water would come out if you pinched it. It was like she had a beauty filter on in real life. It's almost unbelievable how beautiful she is. I couldn't help but sigh in admiration, but the next second, Tfana opened her eyes and stared right at me. Are you complimenting me? I awkwardly looked away from her. You heard wrong? I said you're taking too long. What are you doing with your eyes closed anyway? Tfana's lips twitched into a small smile. She didn't call me out on my lie. Instead, she explained, I'm sensing the condition of your body, all the contact you've had with other succubi. Let their succubus power enter your body. You can't feel it. But these succubus powers can't be absorbed or expelled. They'll slowly destroy your body over time. Hearing what she said, I thought of those mindless, dull people and those who died right in bed. If I want to stay alive, I have to receive clients every day, so the magic power in my body will only keep increasing. I'll end up just like them sooner or later. It's like I'm a terminal cancer patient. Beyond saving. Tfana comforted me. You don't have to worry that much, actually. It's not hard to fix this problem. You have a solution? I asked curiously. Of course. Tfana tilted my chin up. Her voice was full of temptation. As long as you agree to be mine, I can help you get rid of all the succubus power in your body. Be yours! I froze for a second. You want to buy my contract? That's right, what do you say? Want to be mine? This was such a once-in-a-lifetime good deal. I felt like happiness had hit me out of nowhere. I almost agreed immediately on instinct. But the next second, I remembered Lucy's warning. Choosing a master is an extremely important decision. Once you make the wrong choice, your life is completely in your master's hands. Even the academy can't interfere at that point. I swallowed the words that were about to come out of my mouth. Why are you so nice to me? Because I like you. Liking a succubus. How can there be liking without love? After we stared at each other for a few seconds, Tfana stroked her chin. She thought for a moment and said, it's the kind of liking you have for an object, or the kind of liking you have for a certain type of food. Or it's when something feels really handy, like when a tool fits perfectly when you use it. You just start thinking, I want to keep it for myself. After hearing that explanation, I found it pretty acceptable. Compared to a succubus's fake love, this is way more credible. But even so, I still turned her down. Thanks for your kind offer, but I can't say yes right now. Why? Tfana looked a little confused. In her opinion, I was in such a terrible state. I must have been dying for someone to come save me. She made an offer like this. I should have jumped at the chance to agree. Because I don't know you well enough. I have no idea what kind of person you really are. After hearing my words, Tfana nodded in agreement. You're right. Having this sense of vigilance is a good thing. I can wait. I can wait for a very long time. I have a lot of patience with you. I was completely dumbfounded now. This woman really doesn't act like a succubus at all. This level of intellect, this level of maturity, and charm, she completely outshines all those lust-crazed succubi. You're really incredibly persistent, aren't you? I don't even know what's good about me. That I deserve this much favor from you. Everything about you is good. If you weren't outstanding enough, how would you be worthy of me taking action myself? Tfana reached out and stroked my cheek. She leaned close to my ear and said in a seductive voice, Don't forget you took my coming-of-age ceremony. Just for that alone, I'm never letting you go. With that, Tfana pushed me onto the bed. Even if you don't agree to be mine, I'm not going to let your body break down either. So let's make a deal, okay? What deal? I asked curiously. From now on, you can only receive me. You are not allowed to receive anyone else. In return, I will come every day to help you get rid of some of the magic power in your body so your body won't break down that quickly. What? Only receive you? I let out a bitter laugh. I wish I could, but would the Academy allow that? Of course, the Academy won't allow it. But what if I said I want to book you every single day? Book me every day? My eyes went wide. I looked at Tfana in disbelief. Where did you get so many credits? Tfana said teasingly. The top student of the grade gets credit rewards every month. There are also grade-level rewards and prizes from participating in various succubus competitions and stuff. You didn't think. That being first in the lower grades is that easy to get, did you? And the top-ranked students in lower, middle, and upper grades all get extremely good benefits. So a lot of people deliberately stay in these 3 stages to earn more credits, so you don't have to worry about the credits at all. Over the past 3 years, I've barely wasted any credits. I only occasionally spent some to experiment on those men, to see how strong my succubus power is. So I've accumulated a lot of credits before I knew it, enough to book you for a very long time. After hearing what she said, I couldn't help but feel happy inside. If that's really the case, then I won't have to be tortured anymore in the future. At least compared to a never-ending rotation of different people, dealing with Tfana alone is way easier, right? Tfana looked down at me from above, speaking in the tone of a domineering CEO. So what do you say? Want to be booked by me? I nodded quickly. Of course, that's great if it works out. I'd be more than happy to take it easy. Then it's a deal. But there's one condition. Tfana warned with a serious look on her face. Although other people can't open the door from outside, you can open it from the inside. So, if I find out you're secretly taking clients behind my back, the consequences will be very serious. Looking at Tfana's cold eyes, I swallowed hard. I nodded quickly again. Don't worry, I'm not stupid enough to court death. Good. Tfana's lips curled slightly. She licked her cherry lips greedily. Now can I enjoy myself to my heart's content? It was time to get off work again. I left my room right on time to clock out. Then I walked to Kaylin's door. As the door opened, a woman with a smoking hot body walked out. When she saw me, she was stunned at first. Then she was immediately drawn to my cool and rational eyes. What piercing eyes you have. What's your name? Long Aodian. Long Aodian. That's such a badass name. I'll remember you. I'll come find you next time. Bye. The woman blew me a kiss. Then she turned around and walked away sassily. After a little while, Halen finally walked out holding his lower back. That's killing me. The whole day was going fine. But the last client turned out to be an upper grade succubus, an upper grade succubus. I felt a chill run down my back. I was so glad I didn't give my real name just now. Are you okay? Kaylin said as we walked side by side. I'm fine, not dead yet, but I'm kind of tempted right now. By Alice's proposal, she wants to help buy my freedom. I was shocked. She wants that too? Did you agree? Not yet. I told her I need to think about it. This is a really important matter after all. If you pick the wrong person, it's like a lamb walking straight into a tiger's den. You'll be completely at their disposal. I nodded in agreement. You really need to think this through carefully. There's no need to rush this. Kylan sighed. I thought that way at first too. But what happened today really made me not want to wait any longer. I feel like now, my body is getting worse and worse. If this keeps going, I really won't last much longer. I'm probably gonna collapse soon. At this point, other than signing a contract with Alice, there's no other option available. Saying that, Kaylin looked at me with a confused expression. Speaking of which, why do you look so energetic today? You were in such bad shape this morning? Where's Tfana? She came to see me again. She even brought me a bottle of recovery drink. It helped me get rid of some of the magic power in my body. What? Halen looked completely disbelieving. Why is she so nice to you? What the hell is that woman trying to do? I have no idea either. But she said she's different from other succubi. She said if all of us are tools, then to her, I'm a really handy tool. So she wants to buy your freedom. Kaylin asked before I could finish speaking. I nodded. I didn't agree. But she's planning to book me every single day from now on. Book you? Kaylin chuckled softly. This succubus is really something else. She's a total pure love warrior. She actually wants to put a lock on you, the shared bike. I looked completely speechless. Is that how you compliment people? I'm a shared bike. Aren't you one too? Yeah, every guy here is, Kaylin admitted frankly. I sighed. What's bugging me right now is what on earth she's up to. This woman's obsession with me is way beyond my imagination. Kaylin teased. Maybe she's actually fallen for you, you never know. Come on, cut that out. You call that liking me. She's just after my body, plain and simple. Half a month passed before I knew it. It was exactly as Tfana had said. Except for her, no other succubus came knocking at my door. And with Tfana's help, my body gradually got better. I also slowly got used to Tfana's antics, except that she would lose control once in a while. She was pretty gentle under normal circumstances. On the big bed in the room, I rested my head on Tfana's beautiful legs and looked up at her. It feels like your succubus power has improved again. Tfana was wearing a white shirt at the moment, and a pair of glasses as well. She was holding a book in her hand, reading it carefully. She had the full aura of a noble young lady. In response to my question, Tfana answered in a cold tone. That's because I have you, but other succubi are in the same situation, right? How come none of them improve as fast as you do? Tfana said proudly. Because I'm a genius among succubi. I'm the top student in my grade. With that, she suddenly put down her book and leaned over me. Then I frowned slightly. My face tensed up, and I started sweating slowly. After a little while, Tfana lifted her head. She licked her cherry lips with a satisfied look on her face. Not bad, it looks like with my help. Your body is recovering better and better. Even your lust energy is much purer now. I sat up and looked at her gratefully. I hate to admit it, but it's really all thanks to you. My body is slowly getting back to normal now. Tfana smiled slightly and stroked my cheek with her delicate hand. So have you thought it through? Will you be mine or not? I hesitated for a moment, but I couldn't give her an answer. From spending half a month together, I had actually developed feelings for Tfana. If she wasn't a succubus, those feelings could even grow into love. But she is a succubus. You have to be cautious when dealing with succubi. Seeing that I couldn't give an answer, Tfana didn't push me. She just smiled faintly. No rush, I was just asking. You don't have to answer if you haven't made up your mind. Actually, I have thought about it a little. I thought for a second, and decided I should follow my heart when answering. After all, Tfana has been really nice to me. Really? Surprise and joy flashed in Tfana's eyes. Then what is it that's making you hesitate? I shook my head. I'm not really sure, but at least I need to make sure that you're not the cruel, perverted type of succubus. Haven't I shown you enough? I should be the nicest, most thoughtful succubus you've ever met so far, right? What else are you worried about? Tfana leaned close to my face, her pupils glowing with an eerie luster. It deeply seduced me, even though we've been together for a month. As Tfana's power grows, I still can't resist those succubus eyes of hers. It's so strange. Very few people dare to look me in the eye like this. But you've never been affected by my eyes. I have to say, we really are fated for each other, aren't we? I couldn't help wrapping my arms around her waist. I was already pretty turned on, actually. You could tell from certain signs. Tfana looked at my body, and a playful expression crossed her face. Looks like my charm hasn't faded that much. Then she took the initiative to sit on my lap. Wrapping her arms around my neck, she leaned close to my ear and whispered, begging me. Begging you? Cut it out. I'm not messing around. I've been the one making the first move this whole time. It makes it look like I'm forcing you. That's not how a succubus is supposed to behave. Succubi are supposed to seduce their targets. Once in a while, I need to check how well my seduction powers work. Don't you think? Faced with Tfana Till's flirtatious teasing, her charming, fragrant scent was seducing me every step of the way. Even so, I still held myself back. Just like Tfana said, she wanted to test her own charm on me, and I was using her to test my own willpower too. Why are you holding back? Can't you just face your own desires? Seeing how I was holding myself back, Tfana couldn't help feeling a little bad for me. She stroked me gently at the same time, but her sympathy wasn't coming from a good place. Her tenderness and touches only made the pain of holding back worse. After a few minutes of stalemate, Tfana was the one who gave in first. She sighed and said, fine, fine. I give up, you win. How can you hold out for so long? With that, she sat down on my lap. I was already consumed by lust, so I couldn't wait to wrap my arms tightly around her. That saved Tfana a little bit of face. It's not that my charm isn't good enough. It's that you're way too good at holding back. Your willpower is stronger than any other man's here. You're really something special. Tfana mumbled non-stop as she rested on my shoulder. Such a stubborn little thing. I'm getting more and more excited for the day you become my pet. What? He's been booked again. It's already been half a month. That's way too ridiculous, isn't it? That afternoon, Fangjing and Kailin had just come downstairs when they saw a woman leaning over the front desk, talking to the succubus staff member. In response to the woman's complaints, the staff member smiled slightly and said that succubus has already paid for a whole month of tuition in advance. So, miss, you can forget about it this month? Are you kidding me? Spending that many credits on a high-grade toy. Is that girl nuts? Things are so absurd these days, locking up shared bikes and stuff. I thought that only happened in anime. I never thought I'd see it in real life, the woman complained. Sorry, that's just how it is. Why don't you pick another one? There are plenty of other great high-grade toys available. No way. I barely have any credits to begin with. It took me forever to save up this much. I came here specifically for Fangjung, the woman said with a pout. Sophie, just then, Fangjung's voice came from behind. Sophie turned around and saw Fangjung and ran over to him excitedly. She grabbed his hand and said, Fangjung, I finally get to see you again. What are you doing here? I came to look for you, of course. Ever since you were upgraded to a high-grade toy, I haven't found a single toy that satisfies me. I've been thinking about you this whole time. I look at your photos every night before Sophie said excitedly, not caring at all that this was a public place. Fangjung was so embarrassed hearing this. He quickly cut her off. Okay, stop talking. Fine, but what's going on with you anyway? I worked so hard to save up credits to come see you, but you're always occupied. I asked the staff just now. She said you've been booked for a whole month. Is that true? Sophie asked. Hosho nodded and admitted that it was true. Who is it? That's so rich of them. It's me. Just then, a voice came from behind. Sophie turned around to look. A cold, stunning silver-haired woman walked in. She was brimming with powerful magic. Tfana, the top student of our grade. The moment Sophie saw Tfana, panic crossed her face. Since you know who I am, you should know what I'm capable of. Before I decide to hold you accountable, get lost right now, Tfana said coldly. Sophie turned around and apologized to Fangjung, then hurried off. She looked genuinely terrified. Damn it, Tfana! She just ran off like that. Kailin stared at Sophie's retreating figure, completely stunned. He wasn't the only one shocked. Fangjung was too. That sadistic succubus had given both of them a really hard time before, yet just one line from Tfana scared the crap out of her and made her run. Are you that powerful? Why did she run off scared the second she saw you? Fangjung walked up and asked. That's because she's way too weak. Tfana replied coolly. Wow, that's so cool. Guess the power gap between succubi isn't something we can just tell at a glance. Kailin stroked his chin and said. Tfana snorted, glanced at Kailin, and said, You won't be able to laugh this off for much longer either. I advise you to agree to Alice's offer quickly. Otherwise, in just a few days, your condition will get even worse, and Alice won't even want you anymore. Kailin sighed and nodded. I know that, he said. I know my own physical condition. Better than anyone. I already talked to Alice today. She said she'll take me to sign the contract tomorrow. What, tomorrow? Fangjung asked in surprise. What else, with how my body is right now? If I don't sign the contract soon, I won't last more than a few days, Kailin said helplessly. All right, guess that's the only option you have. Hosho nodded. Come on, I'll take you to eat. Tfana took Fangjung's hand and left. Watching the two of them walk away, envy flashed in Kailin's eyes. When they arrived at the cafeteria, Tfana led Fangjung straight to the succubi food pickup area. Hey, this is the food window for succubi. Why did you bring me here? Fangjung asked, uncomfortable. Weren't you always suspicious about this? I brought you here to see for yourself and try what succubi actually eat, Tfana said. Soon it was their turn to get food. The succubus working there froze for a second when she saw Fangjung. Before she could say anything, Tfana spoke up. 2 succubus meals, please. All right, that'll be 40 credits total. 40? Fangjung was shocked. You know, a fancy human meal like a steak only cost 5 credits. When they got their succubus meals, They weren't at all what Fang Zheng had imagined. They were just some special fruits and vegetables. It was almost too vegetarian. The two found a table and sat down. Just then, Kylan came over with a plate of rice. He was shocked when he saw their plates. What the hell is that you're eating? It looks so plain and vegetarian. It's succubus food, duh. What? Succubus food? Wait, but aren't succubi supposed to eat? Kylan was mid-sentence, but a single look from Tfana shut him up immediately. Tfana said coldly, "Don't get the wrong idea. Not all succubi are what you guys think. Sure, we feed on lust energy, but that doesn't mean we eat just anything. It's like you humans say you eat meat. Does that mean you eat rotten meat? Expired meat? Every kind of meat there is? Of course not. I think I get what you mean. So what are these exactly?" Fang Zheng asked curiously. "These are edible fruits and vegetables that grow in the demon realm forest. They can help boost your magic power," Tfana explained. "Oh, I see. That makes me feel a lot better," Fang Zheng said with a smile. "I figured you had a lot of wrong ideas about me. That's why I brought you here on purpose today." As Tfana was talking, she speared a cherry-like fruit with her fork and held it to Fang Zheng's lips. "Whoa, what are you doing?" Kylan saw what was happening. His jaw dropped. "What's wrong? Is there a problem?" Tfana asked. "Only couples do stuff like that. People will get the wrong idea if you do that." "Wrong idea? Couple?" The corner of Tfana's mouth curled up slightly. She turned to look at Fang Zheng and said, "That actually sounds kind of fun, doesn't it?" Faced with Tfana's flirty gesture, Fang Zheng didn't turn her down. He opened his mouth and bit the fruit. "So obedient. I'm getting more and more excited for the day you become my pet." Tfana bit her fork lightly, the desire in her eyes completely undisguised. After dinner, Fang Zheng and Kylan went back to the dorm. Fengsheng took a shower and laid on the bed to rest. Kylan was counting the marks on his body and sighed. It still came down to this. "I hope I made the right choice. It's probably the right one. Since she's Alice's friend, she should be a good person, right?" Fang Zheng said as he looked at his ID card. "What? Are you that satisfied with her?" Kylan looked at him and asked, "What kind of question is that?" "She's perfect as is." "Why would I be unsatisfied? If she wasn't a succubus, she'd be a goddess way out of my league," Fosho said. Kylan chuckled softly, nodded in agreement, and said, "That's true. Girls like them, if they were in the human world, would definitely all be total goddesses. If that's the case, what are you still hesitating for?" Fang Zheng asked. "Nice one, look who's talking." "Tfana is so perfect. Why are you still hesitating?" Kylan asked back. I want to wait a little longer, see how things go." "See what? She's already been so nice to you. If I were you, I would have said yes a long time ago. I can't really explain it." Feng Qing said, a nostalgic look in his eyes. "Even though she acts perfect, like she has no flaws, I just feel like something's off." "Off where? Stop overthinking it. Succubi are all a little weird anyway, it's normal. Just say yes to her already. A top student like her, tons of guys are definitely after her. You better grab this chance fast." Kylan persuaded him. "Yeah, I know." Hosho nodded. The next day, just like Kylan said, Alice took him to get his release, and they signed a master-servant contract. Fang Zheng couldn't go watch in person because of the rules, so he could only watch the video Tfana took at the scene. On the big bed, Tfana was still acting like a queen, sitting on top of Fang Zheng. Her silver long hair was dazzling and charming. Fang Zheng leaned against the headboard, holding Tfana's ultra-thin smartphone to watch the video. In the footage, there were quite a few succubi watching the contract ceremony. They were all succubi who came here often. He could see a lot of familiar faces among them. It was a place similar to a church, just without a cross. Standing at the top of the church was a crystal statue. It was a winged figure that looked like a female angel. What is this crystal statue? Ethos, the demon lord of lust. Wait, isn't Ethos a man? Fang Zheng asked in confusion. Tfana bit her soft lip gently. She looked up, her eyes hazy as she spoke. All of them are creations of God. They have no fixed gender. They can be either male or female. Oh, I've heard about that before. Just like angels? No fixed gender? Fengsheng said with sudden realization. Cut back to the footage. As the grand gate swung open, Alice and Kylan, both fully dressed up, walked in. Everyone else was seated in the chairs reserved for the two of them. This scene really looks exactly like a wedding. Except Alice isn't wearing a wedding dress. She's in a sexy evening gown instead. Kaylin, on the other hand, is wearing a butler uniform. The two walked up to the succubus priest. This was a mature, charming, and bewitchingly sexy female succubus. She looked like an adult succubus teacher. Her powerful charm ability made Fang Zheng react even through the screen. And that feeling was also transmitted to Tfana. Who did you see? Tfana's face turned cold. She snatched the phone away. When she saw it was that succubus teacher, a dazed look crossed her face. Oh, it's Teacher Shayna. No wonder you got tempted. Her charm power is so strong. I can feel it even through the screen. Fang Zheng sighed. Tfana snorted coldly and handed the phone back to Fang Zheng and warned him to stay as far away from her as possible if they meet in the future. The number of men who died at her hands is probably over 10,000. I'm talking about those who died in her bed. That doesn't include the ones she killed directly. Succubi like her are real predators. People she sets her eyes on won't just die. Their whole families might be destroyed too. Tfana said. Fang Zheng couldn't help shivering. He felt a little more fear towards the bewitching woman on the screen. This is what you call a real femme fatale that brings ruin to nations. But then again, as long as you don't provoke her on purpose. Per the Academy's rules, she won't make a move on you either. Of course, it'd be best if you become mine. Then I can stay by your side all the time. No one else will get to approach you. Or bully you, Tfana said softly. Fang Zheng chuckled softly and kept watching the screen. In a Western-style wedding, both parties put wedding rings on each other, but what's happening here is totally absurd. Kaylin knelt down on one knee in front of Alice, and Alice took out a collar and put it around Kaylin's neck. There's even a leash attached. Hey, that's way too much, isn't it? How can they put a collar on him? Fang Qing said angrily. What's wrong with that? Slaves wear collars. That's totally normal, isn't it? It's always been like this, Tfana said calmly. That's treating people like objects. Do I have to do this too in the future? Of course, I'll put a collar around your neck too when the time comes. Then you'll be mine. No one else can touch you. Tfana put her hand on Fang Zheng's neck, a possessive glint in her eyes. Fang Zheng looked disgusted. Pervert, can't you be serious for once? You don't like it? Tfana tilted her head, looking rather cute. Who would like that? Treating people like dogs. Oh, there are lots of men love this. I surf the internet every day. Men in your human world are fighting to be dogs. Oh, right. There's this game character called Kamisato Ayaka, right? Kamisato Ayaka. I want to be Kamisato Ayaka's dog. Tfana raised both her hands and yelled loudly. Fang Zheng, are you crazy? No, I'm just showing you what it looks like when you humans want to be dogs. Tfana said in all seriousness. There are all kinds of humans. They are them. I'm me. Don't lump me in with them, Fang Zheng said with a look of disgust. Oh, that makes sense. After all, you're the most special one. Tfana nodded in agreement, then asked curiously, so what do you think we should do then? We can make it smaller. How about wearing it on the wrist like a bracelet? Fang Zheng raised his hand and said, bracelet. Tfana grabbed Fang Zheng's wrist and kissed his hand. She looked at him with a playful glint in her eyes and said, I have a better idea. What if we make it a ring, just like how you humans do at weddings? How's that? A ring? Fang Zheng looked at her in shock. His heart couldn't help racing. Are you serious? You really want to make it a ring? Up to you. Anyway, the main function of that thing is binding and control. The design doesn't matter, Tfana said with a smile. Then let's go with the ring. Fosho said, oh, really? So does that mean you agree to be my man and sign a contract with me? Tfana asked. Well, since Kaylin did the same thing, I guess it's okay for me too. Hosho nodded. Great, that's wonderful. You said yes. You're mine now. Tfana suddenly got super excited. Fang Zheng was caught off guard and panicked, and quickly covered her mouth with his hand. Said, calm down. Calm down, okay? No, I'm just so happy. You're mine. You promised me. You'll only belong to me from now on. Tfana pulled Fang Zheng up and hugged him tight in her arms and kissed him hard. Fang Zheng's mind went completely blank. The overexcited Tfana was really a little scary. The succubus power she had been suppressing suddenly burst out. Lust slowly took over Fang Zheng's rationality. "No, please, stop!" 1 hour later, when Tfana calmed down, she saw Fang Zheng looking half dead. Tfana got so scared she immediately held him in her arms, took out a recovery drink, and fed it to him sip by sip, with the recovery drink repairing his body. Fang Zheng finally came to his senses. He opened his eyes. His eyes were still filled with leftover lust from the succubus power. His gaze was hazy yet restrained. "Are you okay?" Tfana asked worriedly. "What do you think?" Fang Zheng asked weakly. "I'm sorry, I was just so happy. I went a little overboard. I didn't expect you to be so out of..." Halfway through the sentence, Tfana was too embarrassed to finish. Fang Zheng sighed helplessly, pressed against her soft body and said, "I really thought after getting along for this long, I would be able to get used to you. But looking at it now, I was way too overconfident." "What do you mean by that? Are you going back on your word?" Tfana's face immediately tensed up with worry. "No, I already promised you. Why would I go back on it? I was just complaining." Fosho said. Tfana breathed a sigh of relief when she heard that, then hugged Fang Zheng tightly and said, "This time was an accident. I won't do this again in the future. I won't hurt you ever again. I promise, okay? I trust you." Fang Zheng also hugged her tightly, reveling in her soft, sweet embrace. No one else could ever have this. "Oh right, there's one more thing. You have to promise me," Fang Zheng said suddenly. "What is it?" "You're not allowed to touch any man except me," Fang Zheng warned. "Huh? Why is that?" "I'm a succubus. Why can't I touch other men?" Tfana asked confusedly. "Because you're my woman. Since we've decided to be together, you can't touch other men. Over my dead body. Got it?" Fang Zheng pressed Tfana's shoulders and said extremely seriously. Looking at Fang Zheng's serious expression, Tfana seemed to think of something. She said, "It's like the marriage relationship between you humans, right? Once you get married, you can't touch other people of the opposite sex casually. Isn't that right?" "More or less." Fang Zheng nodded, feeling a little embarrassed, even though he knew it sounded a bit ridiculous. But after Tfana took care of him for so many days, he really had developed romantic feelings for her. "So do you like me?" Tfana asked expectantly. "I guess so." "Great, I like you too." Tfana confessed to him happily. "Really, you like me?" Fang Zheng was a little surprised. "Of course. Why else would I be so nice to you? Have you ever seen any other girl treat you like this? No, right, there you go." Tfana stroked Fang Zheng's cheek gently and said with complete sincerity, "I love you, just like the lovers among you humans. As long as you're mine, I'll always protect you." "Really? But don't succubi have no concept of love?" Before Fang Zheng could finish speaking, Tfana hugged him tightly, whispered in his ear, "That's just a rumor. I'm a living being too. I have a heart too. I'm different from other succubi. I'm the only one who truly loves you. Trust me, I do, I believe you." Listening to her confession, Fang Zheng couldn't help but get lost in it. He felt completely happy from head to toe. He had already forgotten his original intention, but he had no idea. Meanwhile, somewhere else, where he couldn't see, Tfana curled her lips into a cold sneer. Do succubi really not know love? In the cafeteria in the afternoon, Fang Zheng and Kylan were chatting while eating. Ever since Kylan became Alice's servant, Kylan has been living in Alice's dorm. The only time they can meet is this period in the afternoon. In response to Fang Zheng's question, Kylan answered, "I'm not really sure either. Everyone says succubi don't have love. But I think Alice is pretty nice. She's beautiful. She's got a great figure and a gentle personality. She's really nice to me too. I already think of her as my girlfriend." "Really? If that's the case?" Tfana is probably being serious. "What's up with Tfana? Did she confess to you?" Kylan asked curiously. Hosho nodded. He said rather proudly, "She confessed to me." "Really? Tfana confessed to you?" "You're so lucky," Kylan said enviously. "Yeah, I think I'm really lucky too. In a place like this, I actually found someone who loves me, and she's so perfect." Fang Zheng rested his chin on both hands. The tenacity and coldness that used to be in his eyes were gone, replaced by nothing but happiness. but he didn't notice that Kylan beside him was trembling all over. His fists were clenched tight, as if he was resisting something. Fangjung, don't do it, please. Just as Kylan said this through gritted teeth, the collar around his neck suddenly glowed red. Then he let out a scream of pain. What's wrong, Kylan? Fangjung hurried over and asked concernedly. Kylan grabbed Fangjung's arm. He was just about to say something. But right at that moment, Alice appeared behind Kylan and put her hand on his shoulder. The originally agitated Kylan calmed down instantly. Alice, what's wrong with Kylan? It's nothing. I've been helping him get rid of the succubus power in his body recently. That's why his body has these issues from time to time. It's all normal, Alice said calmly. I see. Who would have thought? You're also planning to remove the succubus power from Kylan's body. Looks like Kylan chose the right person, Fangsheng said happily. Alice smiled slightly and pulled Kylan into her arms, stroked him gently and said, he's the one I love. Of course I'll treat him well. Oh, right, I heard. You've also decided to sign a contract with Tfana, right? Yeah. As for when, we haven't decided yet. Fosho said, oh, you haven't set a time yet. Alice nodded absent-mindedly and rolled her eyes for a moment. Then she said, I suggest you hurry up. Why? Tfana has a lot of rivals. They heard how much Tfana values you, so they all want to target you. To get back at Tfana? What? Fangjung was shocked. But don't worry. As long as you don't run around everywhere, nothing should go wrong. Alice comforted him. Even though Alice said that, Fangjung was still a little nervous. He wasn't worried about himself. He was worried about Tfana. Given how possessive Tfana is of him, if she found out another woman touched him, she would definitely break down. Thinking of this, Fangjung couldn't help but feel a headache. He was thinking whether he should sign the contract earlier. That way this kind of thing won't happen. Oh, she's here. I'll get going now. Seeing Tfana approaching, Alice took Kylan's hand and left. Good evening, Fangjung. Tfana walked over to Fangjung and sat down beside him, and greeted him with a smile. Good evening. Have you had dinner yet? Fangjung asked. No. I went to the library to study magic this afternoon. I lost track of time. Tfana stretched. Her perfect figure was on full display as she stretched. Fangjung's mouth went dry looking at her. That made Tfana grin playfully. She teased, You're getting more and more lecherous, huh? Little Fangjung, I am not. Fangjung looked away awkwardly. What's there to be shy about? Look if you want. You've seen me so many times already, and you've touched me plenty of times too. You must be bored of it by now, right? No way, I could never get bored. Really? I was worried you'd get bored. What if one day you become a scumbag like the ones online, and fall for another girl? Tfana rested her cheek on one hand, and said with a worried look on her face, No way, I only like you. I'll never like another woman. I swear, Fangjung said firmly. Oh, really? I'm so happy. A surprised and happy look appeared on Tfana's face. Then she asked again, So, when do you think we should sign the contract? I'm not sure about that either. How about we wait till the end of this month? Oh, that's still more than 10 days away. That's way too long. Why not do it tomorrow? The day after tomorrow works too. Tfana said, Whoa, you're way too eager for this, aren't you? It's not like I'm gonna run away. What are you worried about? Coming to her senses, Tfana cleared her throat and said, Well, it's 'cause I love you, duh. I want to have you as soon as possible. Have you all to myself? But you paid for a whole month up front there. It's only been a little over 2 weeks. If I leave right now, the rest of the half month will go to waste, right? Fosho said, Oh, that's all you're worried about. It's just a few credits, no big deal. Is it even that big of a deal? Tfana asked in surprise. Wait, it was a lot of credits, though. Geez, you're so bad with money management. Total spendthrift. Fangjung tapped her forehead and said, I am not. I just did it for convenience, okay? If you insist on staying, then we'll just wait. But once this month is over, you have to keep your promise, okay? No backing out. Tfana stressed repeatedly. Don't worry. I already promised you, so I will definitely not go back on my word, Fangjung said with a smile. After dinner, Tfana made a point of walking Fangjung back to his dorm. Her thoughtfulness made Fangjung a little flustered. You really don't have to do this, you know? I can get back to the dorm by myself just fine. I know, I just want to walk with you a little longer. Tfana looked at him with extreme tenderness. Fangjing couldn't help but blush. He thought to himself, he was like a girl being doted on by her boyfriend. You gotta hand it to her. Tfana is really good at spoiling people. How did a succubus like her watch so many romance dramas anyway? All right, I'm here. I'm gonna head up first. You should head back and rest too, okay? Go on in. Tfana stayed right where she was, watching Fangjung walk into the dorm building. Once his figure was completely out of sight, Tfana let out a sigh of relief. She turned around, and all the tenderness on her face vanished in an instant. All that was left was cold, emotionless indifference. After leaving the dorm area, she hadn't walked very far when Alice appeared in front of Tfana, with Kaylin right beside her. Skidisk, you're really going all out for this, huh? Going this far for a man. Must be exhausting putting on that act, right? Alice teased. Tfana looked at Alice expressionlessly and said, Not tired at all, it's actually pretty fun. If it's so fun, why are you in such a rush to get him to sign the contract? Why not have some more fun with him first? Tfana took a deep breath and said, The longer we wait, the more things can go wrong. Wait, what? Tfana stepped in front of Alice, pointed at Kaylin and said, I warned you before. Told you not to touch him yet. But look at you, it's only been a day or two, and he's already looking like that. Faced with Tfana's questioning, Alice sighed helplessly and said, I couldn't help it, okay? He's staying at my place. That's like having a huge cake right next to your bed. You can hold off for one day, but you can't hold off 2 whole days without eating it, right? I didn't tell you not to eat at all, but you didn't have to devour him this badly. Oh, come on. Tifa, I'm a succubus, okay? This is in my nature. It's my instinct. The only reason you don't get it is 'cause you haven't acted on your urges yet, haven't lived with a man. Once you move in together, I promise, you'll be 10, no, 100 times crazier than I am. In response to Alice's teasing, Tfana didn't deny it. To get her hands on Fangjung, this fine meal, she had been suppressing her instincts this whole time. The day they sign the contract is the day she'll finally let all her desires run wild. The moment she takes off her fake mask. I'm really curious. What's the real reason you're going this far? Going to all this trouble? Putting on this whole act of a loving, devoted woman? Alice asked curiously. Tfana let out a cold snort and said, Fangjung is my man. He's my first man. I'm gonna devour him, consume him down to the last bit. I'll make him fall in love with me. Then expose everything when he's at his happiest. At that moment, he'll definitely break down. He'll be in absolute agony, right? Alice said excitedly. Exactly. I want to watch him despair, suffer, fall apart. Then I'll drain him over and over again until there's nothing left of him. Tfana's icy voice was filled with desire and madness. Ha ha ha, you're so evil. That's so you, Tfana. No one else could come up with a scheme like this to treat your first man like this. You really don't have a single nice bone in your body, do you? Alice teased. Nice? Tfana let out a cold chuckle and said, I'm not even human to begin with. Why would I act like one? The saddest thing about humans is that they're always deluding themselves with false hope. They always think they're 1 in a million, special, different from everyone else. Even when they're in mortal danger, even when they're surrounded by enemies, even when everyone around them is drowning in despair and danger, they still hold on to that stupid hope in their hearts. They tell themselves they're not doing that badly, that they're lucky to still be alive, that they'll meet someone who's different from the rest. I heard you're about to sign a contract with Tfana. Early in the morning, Fangjung went to the equipment building. As soon as he walked in, he ran into Lucy, who was waiting for him again. When Lucy saw him, Fangjung was a little surprised. Ever since he leveled up half a month ago, they hadn't seen each other at all, basically. Long time no see! How have you been? Fangjung asked. I'm doing great, cutie. How have you been lately? Lucy walked up to Fangjung and gently patted his head. I'm doing all right. Pretty good, actually, Fangjung said with a smile. Lucy stared intently into Fangjung's eyes and sighed. She said, Looks like I was right. Before, I couldn't see any emotion in your eyes, so you had no weaknesses. But now, your eyes are full of softness. Nothing but weaknesses. Weaknesses? Fangjung looked at her confusedly. Lucy pulled her hand away from his head and asked, I heard you're about to sign a contract with Tfana. Is that true? It's true. Hosho nodded. Why would you do that? You had so many other options. Why did you have to pick her of all people? Lucy demanded. Huh? 'Cause she's really nice. She's beautiful. She's gentle, she treats me really well. And she says she likes me. Her? You actually believe her? Lucy let out a cold laugh and demanded, Succubi don't know what love is. I've told you this so many times. You've heard it so many times. Did you forget? I know, but Tfana is different. How is she different? All succubi are the same. They're all incarnations of lust. On top of that, she's the top of her year. Her inner desires are stronger than any other succubus's. Do you understand? I get it, but before Fang Zheng could finish speaking, Lucy stepped forward and grabbed his arm. She said seriously, trust me. Stay away from her. That woman is very dangerous. Never trust her, no matter what. Don't trust me. Why would I trust you instead? Right at that moment, an icy voice came from behind them. They saw it was Tfana. Fang Zheng was overjoyed. Lucy let go of Fang Zheng, turned around to look at Tfana. Her gaze turned cold. She said, You're here. You're pretty early. I figured someone would try to mess things up. So I've been keeping a close eye on things these days. Looks like I was right. Who would have thought the esteemed Miss Lucy, the warden, would do something like this? That's going a bit too far, don't you think? Tfana said, I don't care about other people. I just have a crush on Fang Zheng. I don't want him to suffer too much. Lucy said, Suffer? Tfana let out a soft laugh, glanced at Fang Zheng, and said, Are you kidding me? I love him more than anything. Why would I ever make him suffer? I know perfectly well whether I would or not. You know perfectly well. I think you're just here to ruin our relationship on purpose. I advise you to think this through carefully. Mind your own business. If the higher-ups of the academy find out about this, they definitely won't let this slide. Is that really what you want? Tfana threatened. Lucy clenched her fists, staring at her with icy eyes. But after thinking it over repeatedly, she finally sighed, turned to look at Fang Zheng, and said, If you're willing, I'll redeem you and sign a contract with you. What do you say? Fang Zheng hesitated for a moment, shook his head, and looked at Tfana. He said, Thanks for your kindness, but I already promised Tfana. Hear that? He already promised me. It's his own choice. You have no right to interfere. Got it? Tfana said proudly. I already guessed it would turn out like this. Lucy sighed. Looking at Fang Zheng with a complicated expression, she said, Since you've already made your choice, I have nothing more to say. Take care. With that, Lucy turned around and left. Looking at Lucy's retreating figure, Fang Zheng felt a little dazed. Part of him wanted to believe what Lucy had said, but he could never doubt Tfana. Tfana had been so kind to him. How could she ever hurt him? He had nothing to begin with, and was already covered in scars. If she wanted to hurt him, why would she spend so much time, so much energy saving him and taking care of him? No one in their right mind would understand that logic. But Fang Zheng was missing one point. Most of the beings here aren't human. They are succubi. Are you okay? Fang Zheng. Tfana walked up to him, gently stroking his cheek. She asked concernedly, I'm fine. But Sister Lucy, what's wrong with her anyway? Why did she say you're dangerous and that you'd hurt me? Fang Zheng asked. Tfana smiled helplessly and said, Probably because I'm the shame of all succubi. Huh? The shame of succubi? What does that mean? You're the top student in your grade, right? How did you get such a humiliating title? Fang Zheng asked confusedly. Come on, let's go to the room first. You haven't checked in yet. Oh, I almost forgot. Let's go upstairs first. Meanwhile, in a luxurious dorm room, Alice, who had woken up early for her morning workout, stood up satisfied and headed for the bathroom. On the bed, Kaylin was lying there covered in marks, her eyes empty. She was muttering Fang Zheng's name. Don't you ever give up. In the room of the building, there was no one there at the moment. Men's and women's clothes were scattered all over the floor. The only sound came from the bathroom. Tfana, stop messing around. Fang Zheng, I like you so much. Let me have you, okay? In the bubbly bathtub in the bathroom, Fang Zheng was lying inside, while Tfana was nestled in his arms, teasing him mischievously. We agreed we were just taking a bath. Why are you being naughty again? Fangjung complained. Tfana looked at him with dazed eyes and said, sorry, I broke my promise. It's just that I like you so much. I just can't stay calm when I'm alone with you like this. The second I see you, I can't control myself at all. Can't you hold it back a little? I'm trying my best to hold back already. Really? Tfana buried her face in Fangjung's neck, kissing him. Those last words were true. She had been holding back this whole time. With her succubus powers, her terrifying desires, if unleashed randomly, would have killed Fangjung instantly. Fangjung felt both embarrassed and helpless about this. Here he was, a grown man, being pushed around like a little girl, but he couldn't fight back at all. Besides, she was the woman he loved. As her lover, it was only right that he satisfied her needs. That gave him even less reason to refuse. Fine, you already got your way anyway. Do whatever you want. Fangjung simply gave up resisting and wrapped his arms around Tfana. You're so cute. Just like a little pet. Tfana kissed him fondly. Don't say that. I'm not a little animal. Soon, once you're mine completely. You'll be my pet. I'll treat you so well then, I promise. Tfana leaned close to Fangjung's ear and said meaningfully, after they finished bathing, the two of them went back to the bed. Tfana sat on Fangjung's lap, teasing him as she told him about her past. Ever since I enrolled in the Succubus Academy, I've never touched a man. I'm still a virgin. But being a virgin is a humiliation for succubi. That's why everyone calls me the shame of succubi. Hearing this, Fangjung suddenly realized, so that's what's going on. So according to what you're saying, Lucy doesn't like you just because you're the so-called shame of succubi, right? That's why she tried to break us up on purpose. Is that right? Tfana nodded and kissed Fangjung happily. She praised him, so smart. That's exactly it. You humans often have prejudices against each other. We succubi are the same. Because of prejudice, you dislike someone. So you try every way possible to target them. I've often seen that in your human schools. There's this thing called school bullying. It's basically the same thing. Just because you were a virgin, they've been bullying you this whole time. Fangjung said angrily. That's way too much. What's wrong with being a virgin? It represents purity. They're the filthy ones anyway. They even bully you, Tfana said with a wronged look on her face. I have no choice either. I obviously didn't do anything at all. Why do so many people hate me then? I've lived such a hard life all these years. Except for Alice. I barely have any other friends. Fangjung felt very sympathetic after hearing this. He gently stroked Tfana's cheek and said, don't be sad. I'll be here for you from now on. I'll be your best friend? I trust you. You're the person I cherish the most. Tfana hugged Fangjung happily. It was around 11 o'clock. Tfana left. That's what she always does normally. She comes to see Fangjung in the morning and goes to study in the afternoon. But today was different. In the cafeteria, Alice was having lunch. Celine was standing right next to her, not caring at all that this was a public place. She was doing that kind of stuff to Alice. Tfana frowned when she saw this. She said coldly, you're getting more and more presumptuous. This is a public area. What difference does that make? This is the Succubus Academy. No rule says we can't do this in public. As Alice spoke, she reached out to tease Celine. The next second, it was like a volcano erupting. Alice had a look of pure ecstasy on her face. She didn't mind getting messy at all. She was enjoying this unique lust energy. Lust energy can be a tangible substance or an intangible existence, like moods and feelings, spiritual energy, things like that. That's why Tfana said succubi love fresh things, because stale stuff has very little lust energy in it. Practically none at all. It's like the food humans eat. The steam and such don't matter much to them. But for succubi, steam, freshness, and such are extremely important. The food itself is what doesn't matter as much. Sit down, what are you standing there for? Alice pointed at the seat opposite her. Tfana shook her head in disgust. That's gross. Gross? You're a succubus. When you were still a virgin, I get that you thought it was gross. But you're not a virgin anymore. How can you still think it's gross? Alice asked in surprise. It has nothing to do with whether I'm a virgin or not. I just think it's gross, plain and simple. I'm a clean freak. You know that, Tfana said. Right, of course I know that. But I thought you'd get past this after you lost your virginity. I didn't expect you'd still be like this. That's so funny. Then I don't get it. When you're with Fangjung, don't you think that's gross too? Alice questioned. Tfana shook her head. She said without hesitation, he's different. He's the man I approve of. In my eyes, he's delicious. What the hell? You're such a hypocrite. Your Fangjung is delicious, but my Celine is gross, Alice said dissatisfiedly. Tfana shook her head. That's not what I mean. I'm not just targeting Celine. I'm talking about all men. The ones I don't approve of and look down on. They all disgust me. Alice was speechless for a moment. Since you think he's so great, why do you still want to ruin him? Because I like him, duh. Tfana said seriously. I'm very focused. When I'm committed to a man, I'll never touch another man. So unless he dies, I'll stick to him forever. I'll drain him until there's nothing left. Wow, you really are devoted, huh? Of course I am, but there's something bothering me right now. Tfana said. What is it, this morning? I ran into teacher Lucy. Lucy, that's totally normal. What's so weird about that? The problem is, she was talking to Fangjung at the time. She badmouthed me, and even told Fangjung not to agree to forming a contract with me. What? Alice was shocked. Teacher Lucy would do something like that. That's way too much. She's clearly trying to steal him from you. Exactly, that's why I'm so bothered. Even though Fangjung didn't believe her, if it happens once, it'll happen again. Also, the front desk notified me more and more succubi have been coming to see Fangjung lately. I'm worried something will go wrong if we wait too long. So you want to form a contract with him as soon as possible? Alice asked. Tfana nodded. She said, that method you mentioned before, I think it works. Let's go with that. Wait, you're actually going through with it? Alice asked in surprise. Aren't you scared Fangjung will actually get taken advantage of by that woman? I have full faith in Fangjung. He only has me in his heart right now. Plus, he knows me well, so he'll never let another succubus touch him, Tfana said confidently. Seeing this, Alice nodded with a smile. She said, if you're that sure about it, then I have nothing else to say. Honestly, I also want to see if Fangjung will actually give in. What if when we walk in later? Those two have already started. What will you do then? I know him, so I know how long he can hold out. If he doesn't hold out as long as I expect, then he's betrayed me, Tfana said coldly. So then what do you do with a man who betrays you? Alice asked curiously. Isn't it obvious? It's not like I need to waste time on extra stuff. I'll just drain him dry and throw him away, duh. Tsk looks like whether he betrays you or not, he's gonna end up miserable either way, Alice said with a mischievous grin. The next day, Tfana did the same as usual, stayed in the room until 11 o'clock, then left. For the rest of the time, Fangjung could rest the whole time, with nothing to do. It was almost 12 o'clock. Hosho woke up. He got up from bed, feeling refreshed. Usually staff would knock on the door to deliver food around this time. But what Fangjung didn't expect was, today's delivery seemed to be a bit early. Knock, knock, knock. Along with the sound of knocking, Fangjung got up and walked to the door. He saw the person standing outside through the display screen. It was a staff member in work uniform, pushing a small cart. Open up, food delivery. Fangjung opened the door. The person was standing at the door, wearing a hat. Fangjung looked at the person curiously and asked confusedly, I don't think I've seen you before. I'm new here. The previous succubus who delivered food is on leave, resting in the dorm. As she spoke, she pushed the cart into the room. Hey, wait a second. Fangjung stepped forward and asked, isn't there a rule that staff aren't allowed to enter the rooms? Can't I come in and take a look? The staff member took off her hat, revealing her bright red hair. She turned around to look at Fangjung. You're Fangjung, right? Fangjung looked at her warily. Not bad. You look really energetic. Your eyes are really clear, too. No wonder that girl Tfana has a thing for you, the woman said approvingly. You know, Tfana, of course I do. That girl beat me in the lower grade succubus competition and became the top of the grade. I've held on to this grudge for all this time. Right up until now, I finally have the power to get my revenge. With that, the red-haired succubus walked toward Fangjung. Fang Jing sensed something was wrong. He immediately ran toward the door. He was just one step away from swiping his card to open it, only to be grabbed by the collar and dragged back by her. The next second, Fang Jing was forced to bury his face in that soft, sweet-smelling slime, enduring a torture that others would envy. Let go of me, you little brat! Looks like Tfana takes really good care of you, huh? You even dare to fight back. The red-haired succubus stared at the struggling Fang Jing in her arms with an excited look on her face. I'm a middle-year student, you know. There's no way a human can resist succubus power. Not to mention humans. Human men get more excited than the next when they see us. There's no way they'd ever fight back. The red-haired succubus forced Fang Jing's head up and kissed him. But it was barely a few seconds. The red-haired succubus pulled away. Fang Jing stared at her in shock. You actually tried to bite me. Humph, I suggest you get out right now. If Tfana gets here, she'll never let you off the hook. Fang Jing huffed coldly. At those words, the red-haired succubus instantly got riled up. Oh, so you're threatening me. A mere human man dares to threaten me. I'm gonna teach you a lesson today no matter what. With that, the red-haired succubus kissed him forcefully again. Fang Jing tried to bite her again, but found he didn't have the strength to even open his mouth. He could only let her do as she pleased. I was just gonna mess around a little at first, just to humiliate Tfana, that's all. But what I didn't expect is that you're so much fun. Looks like I can really enjoy myself this time. The red-haired succubus pushed Fang Jing down onto the bed, staring at him with malicious intent. Get away, don't touch me. Fang Jing struggled with all his might. But this kind of reaction only made the red-haired succubus even more excited. This is the first time I've ever met a man like you. No wonder Tfana cares about you so much. It's making me want you too. Why don't you be my man? Sign a contract with me. That way you can humiliate her even more. The red-haired succubus proposed with a wicked grin. Get lost, I'd never do that. Fang Jing spat at her. The red-haired succubus didn't get angry at all. She looked like she was enjoying it. Wow, such unique lust energy, and we haven't even started yet. Just sensing it is already intoxicating. Damn that Tfana! That's so unfair. Such a fun toy. She's hoarding him all to herself. That's way too selfish. The red-haired succubus buried her face in Fang Jing's neck, taking a deep breath of his scent, her face full of ecstasy. That obsessed look gave Fang Jing goosebumps. Total pervert. Even though she was super attractive and had an amazing body, Fang Jing, who was used to seeing beauties, wasn't interested at all. He still preferred Tfana's figure more, and her silky silver hair. At the same time, over in the monitoring room, Tfana and Alice were sitting in front of the screen, watching this whole scene unfold. Tac! This Fang Jing is really impressive under your training, huh? He hasn't been affected by Myra's succubus power at all, Alice exclaimed in amazement. Tfana had a proud look on her face at that, feeling proud of Fang Jing's actions. She said, of course. The man I chose is bound to be outstanding, looking across the entire academy. Probably. There isn't a man with stronger willpower than him, right? That's for sure. It really makes me want to have a taste. I'm kind of craving him too. Alice licked her lips. Looking at Tfana, she said, Tfana, we're best friends, right? Of course we are. Tfana nodded with a smile. Then can you let me have a taste of him? Facing Alice's expectant gaze, Tfana's smile faded instantly. She said coldly, I told you before. I have a purity complex. Oh, come on, we're besties. What's the big deal about letting me have a taste? I'll even let you have mine in return. Kaylin really likes me a lot, you know? Not interested. Tfana rejected her without hesitation. Alice sighed. Looking at Fang Jing on the screen with a regretful face, she said sadly, after he signs the contract with you, he probably won't survive one night. That's such a shame. It really is a shame, but there's nothing we can do about it. Tfana. Fang Jing in the video stretched out his fair hand and stroked her. She said coldly, if I were a human, I would definitely love him deeply. But unfortunately, I'm a succubus. I don't know what love is, so I'd rather he die under me than let any other woman defile him. Fang Jing had no idea he was caught in a trap. He was still rejecting Myra at that moment, because he knew Tfana's personality would never allow anyone else to touch what's hers. This is so weird. Why are you so hard to crack, man? Am I not attractive enough? Why can't I seduce you? Facing Fang Jing's constant struggling, Myra was really confused. They'd been at it for 10 minutes already. She found it absolutely ridiculous. Normal men would fall to their knees for me with just a flick of my finger. They'd be completely at my mercy. But Fang Zheng is different. After all this time, he still hasn't given in to his desires. Fine then. Looks like I'm gonna have to do this the hard way. Myra's gaze turned determined. She pressed Fang Zheng's hands onto the bed, tied them up with his clothes. Soon Myra was ready to enjoy this delicious meal. All right, baby, here I come. Get away. Just then, the door opened. Before Myra could even react, a powerful aura rushed toward her, sending her flying right off the bed. She crashed into the wall. Tfana looked like a domineering girlfriend as she walked in. She came up to Fang Zheng, untied his binds, and pulled him into her arms. You're finally here? Fang Zheng was already worn out from all the torture by now, because he'd been suppressing his desires this whole time. It was unimaginably hard on him. When he hugged Tfana, Fang Zheng kissed her eagerly. Tfana hugged Fang Zheng back, letting him do as he pleased, and said to Alice outside, "Drag her out for me," then closed the door. Okay, Alice walked in. After giving Fang Zheng one greedy look, she dragged the unconscious Myra out reluctantly. As the door closed, Fang Zheng pushed Tfana down onto the bed in one move. I feel so terrible. Tfana. Fang Zheng buried his face in her chest, telling her how much pain he was in. Tfana stroked his head gently, comforting him. Shh, be good. It's okay, you're safe now. I'm here. You can do whatever you want. I'll take all of it. At those words, Fang Zheng could no longer hold back the desire that had been stirred up. He kissed Tfana passionately. An hour later, the door opened. Tfana walked out. Alice and Myra were both standing at the door. The two of them were waiting for her. How did it go?
Did you get him settled?
Alice teased. Tfana let out a breath, nodded with a look of still wanting more, said, not bad. This is the first time he's taken the initiative. It feels really interesting. You make your bestie wait outside, while you have fun inside. You didn't even let us get a taste first. Mara complained. Alice glared at her annoyed, said, be grateful, will you? You at least got to touch him, even kissed him. I've been busy this whole time, and got absolutely nothing. Heh, that's true. To be honest with you, this Fang Zheng is total top tier. I even used my succubus powers, and he still managed to stay rational. I can't even imagine. If we went all the way, how amazing that would feel. Mara sighed wistfully. As soon as she finished speaking, Mara got punched hard in the stomach, and the one who threw the punch was none other than Tfana. Ouch, what the hell? Are you crazy? Why'd you hit me out of nowhere? Mira yelped in pain. Tfana stared at her coldly, said, this punch is for touching him earlier. If anyone else had done that, you'd be lying on the floor passed out already. Mira looked at Tfana in total shock, said, girl, you're the one who told me to do this. I didn't even ask you for a reward for it, and you still hit me. I told you to tease him. I didn't tell you to kiss him. Oh, come on, you have to make the act believable. Otherwise, he'll see right through it. Besides, Tfana, he's just a human. You're attacking your best friend for a human. Wow, you're really picking a guy over your bestie, huh? Mara complained. Alice nodded in agreement, said, right. If you were actually going to keep him around, whatever, but you're not even planning to let him live. That's such a total waste. Are you kidding me? Wait, what? A waste? Mara was shocked when she heard that, said, if you're not going to let him live, why not let us girls have some fun with him first? In your dreams, no one touches him, except me. Even if I don't do anything with him, I won't let anyone else lay a finger on him. Tfana said, that's such a total waste. Wasting a total catch like that, just like that. Do you have any idea how hard it is for the Academy to find someone like him? Mara said angrily. Whatever, I don't care. Tfana said coldly. Mara was so angry she gritted her teeth. After who knows how long. When Fang Zheng woke up, he was lying in the infirmary. Alice was right next to him. Sister Alice. Why am I here? Where's Tfana? Fang Zheng asked. Tfana, Alice had a complicated look on her face. What's wrong with her? Fang Zheng sensed something was off. He sat up and asked. Faced with Fang Zheng's questioning, Alice didn't answer right away. She stayed silent on purpose. What's going on, really? Come on, tell me. I can't tell you, Tfana warned me. Not to tell you. She was afraid you'd worry about her. After Alice said that, Fangzheng got even more anxious. He grabbed her arm and asked urgently, "What the hell happened? Where is Tfana?" Seeing how worried he was, Alice sighed, said, "I'll be honest with you. Tfana got put in solitary confinement for beating up a classmate." What? Solitary confinement? As soon as he heard that, Fangzheng panicked immediately. How could that happen? That other woman was the one who broke the rules first. Why does Tfana have to be punished? There's nothing we can do. Rules are rules. Her breaking the rules is her business. Tfana hitting someone is hers. They're separate issues. That's how the academy always does things. Is she okay, though? If it's just solitary confinement, it's not going to be too bad, right? Fangzheng asked. Alice nodded, said, "Don't worry. It's no big deal. She's only going to be in there for about 10 days. 10 days? That's so long. Fangzheng was stunned. There's no way around it. Rules are rules. But that's way too long, isn't there? Any way to bend the rules a little? Of course there is. Alice snapped her fingers. Said there's a rule that says, if, during this period, the rule breaker signs a contract with a human, all punishment will be waived. Wait, what are you saying? As long as I sign a contract with her, she doesn't have to take the punishment, Fangzheng asked in shock. Alice nodded. Exactly. You're the only one who can save her right now. 10 days in confinement is no joke. I heard that dark cell is pretty miserable. Fangzheng hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Said, if that really works, of course I'll do it. The corner of Alice's mouth twitched up when she heard that. She snapped her fingers and said, You said it, not me. If that's the case, we better arrange it tomorrow, so Tfana doesn't have to suffer any longer. The sooner the better. Thanks for making that call, that's great. It's good to see Tfana caring so much about you wasn't for nothing. I'll go make arrangements now. You get some rest here. Okay, thanks for your help. No problem. With that, Alice left the room. Watching her leave, Fangzheng sighed. He prayed silently in his heart, hoping Tfana would be okay. The next day came quickly. Fangzheng put on the suit Alice gave him and walked out of the dorm building. Alice was standing not far away, waiting for him in a formal dress. You're dressed so formally. Fangzheng was a little surprised. Of course I am. This is Tfana's first contract ceremony after all. We have to take it seriously. Plus, she's really popular, so a lot of people are gonna be there, Alice said with a smile. Hearing what Alice said, Fangzheng couldn't help but daydream a little. It felt like a wedding. His wedding with Tfana. He's supposed to become a slave. Why is it so grand? It looks just like a wedding. Fulsho joked. Aren't they the same thing? For most people. Isn't marriage just one person enslaving the other? Alice said. Fangzheng was speechless for a second. That's such a rude thing to say, but I can't even argue with it. It's way too real. Well, actually, to be accurate, it's not the other person that enslaves you. It's life. Life enslaves both people. If you're doing well, you get to be the slaver. If you're not, you're the slave. Led by Alice, they soon arrived in front of a church on academy grounds. It was different from the rest of the academy. This place feels so sacred. It's so holy and pure, even though we're talking about a demon god. Yet everything here is made to feel so sacred. That's kind of weird. A demon god is still a god after all. They're no different in that sense. In our hearts, the demon god of desire, Isis, is a great being, just like the god you people talk about, Alice said with a look of reverence on her face. They arrived at the entrance of the church. Fangzheng hesitated for a moment and pushed open the main door of the church. The interior was resplendent, glowing with gilded light, and filled with a sense of holiness. Lots of succubi were sitting on the pews. They were wearing formal dresses, all dolled up in their finest attire. It looked like they were here for a wedding. It was absolutely shocking. Is this some kind of joke? Seeing this scene, even the most steadfast person would lose their composure here. Who could possibly not believe this is true love? A succubus is willing to hold such a grand contract ceremony. How could this not prove her true feelings? Fangzheng had no doubts left at this point. He looked ahead. At the front of the church, this woman was wearing a white dress, a wedding dress, just like a bride, standing right there, holding a bouquet of flowers in her hands. Go on, she's waiting for you. Alice urged him. Hosho took a step forward and walked step by step towards Tfana. The succubi he passed were all staring at him, but he didn't notice that at all. The expressions and looks in the succubi's eyes. He only had eyes for Tfana standing ahead. You're finally here? Tfana looked at him, walking over with a smile, and handed him the roses in her hand. Hosho took the roses. He looked at Tfana with infatuation in his eyes. He asked, "Is this a dream?" "No." Tfana reached out her hand and stroked his cheek and said softly, "This is real. This is our contract ceremony. You can also see it as our wedding." "Wedding?" Fang Zheng mumbled the two words. Emotions were surging violently in his chest. And right at this moment, a succubus teacher dressed as a priest walked over, holding a black Bible in her hands, and stood in front of the two of them. She said in public, "Miss Tfana, do you agree to be Fang Zheng's master? To protect him, cherish him, for all eternity, until the end of time?" Teacher Xuena asked. Tfana looked at Fang Zheng affectionately and said, "I do, Mr. Fang Zheng. Do you agree to be Miss Tfana's slave? To stay by her side, serve her, for all eternity, until the end of time?" Facing Tfana's affectionate gaze, Fang Zheng hesitated for a moment and nodded and said, "I do too." Warm applause erupted throughout the room, along with screams and cheers. Then Alice walked over carrying a plate. There was a ring resting on it. "Fang Zheng, please take this slave ring that symbolizes bondage and present it to your master, Tfana. Let her put it on for you." Fang Zheng picked up the ring with both hands, kneeled down on one knee, and handed it to Tfana. "Tfana, you may now put this on your slave Fang Zheng. This slave ring. From this day forward, he will be entirely your slave, to do with as you please." Tfana took Fang Zheng's hand and put the slave ring on him, then leaned down and kissed the ring. Fang Zheng stood up. Holding hands with Tfana, they gazed at each other affectionately. And just then, Teacher Xuena spoke again. But her next words shattered the sweet atmosphere right then and crushed Fang Zheng's sweet dream. "You may do it now." "What?" Fang Zheng was stunned. He couldn't believe what he just heard. He looked at Xuena in shock. But Teacher Xuena had a gentle look on her face, yet also looked very serious. She didn't seem to be joking at all. Looking at the other succubi, they all looked really excited too, watching intently with great interest. "What does this mean? What do you mean by do it?" Fang Zheng looked at Tfana. He asked, and Tfana slowly leaned in close to him and kissed him, then slowly pushed him down to the ground. Fang Zheng tried to resist, but the power of the slave ring made it impossible for him to fight back. He could only watch helplessly as Tfana did as she pleased. That wasn't all. By the end, all the succubi stood up and crowded around to watch. Watching the show with great interest, Fang Zheng felt so ashamed and humiliated. He questioned Tfana unwillingly. "What the hell is going on here? Why are you doing this in front of so many people?" Tfana still had a gentle look on her face as she comforted him. "This is totally normal. Everyone does it this way. This is a local custom for us." "Custom? But what about Kaylin?" "She did have it this way." Alice walked over. She took out her phone and played a video. It was exactly the video of her and Kaylin's ceremony. "How is that possible? Why didn't I see this last time?" Fang Zheng asked in shock. "Because I cut that part out." Tfana said. "Why?" "Because I was worried you wouldn't be able to accept it. Just like how you're reacting right now," Tfana said with a smile. Looking at her smile, Fang Zheng only felt that it was strange, scary, and unsettling. He had a vague idea of what was going on, but he didn't want to believe it. He still asked Tfana, holding on to a sliver of hope in his heart, "Is this really just a custom? It won't happen again after this, right? Right?" Looking at the expectation and plea in Fang Zheng's eyes, Tfana's lips curled up slightly. She said mischievously, "That's not necessarily true." What? I don't know how much time passed. When Fang Zheng woke up again, he was lying on a big, soft bed. The room was decorated very neatly. It felt very fresh, and the air was filled with a woman's sweet scent. He tried his best to sit up, but he only felt sore all over his body. Thinking back on what happened in the church during the day, it was still vivid in his mind. He was overcome with shame. Even though he had been humiliated by many succubi before, this time he was treated like this in public by the person he loved. Fang Zheng really couldn't believe it. He couldn't understand why. Why would she do this? After a wave of annoyance passed, Fengjin got out of bed. He went to the bathroom and took a shower. After showering, he put on pajamas and walked around the room, even though this was a dormitory. It was fully furnished and well set up. It had everything you could need. Sure enough, succubi dorms are totally different from human dorms. When he walked up to the desk, he saw a diary lying on the table. There were 4 words written on it. First love diary. First love, is that me? Fengxiong sat down. Full of expectation, he started reading it carefully. The diary was full of Tfana's daily notes about Fengjin. It recorded everything that happened to the two of them each day, as well as Tfana's inner thoughts. July 10th, sunny. Today I saw a man in the equipment hall. He looked really special. Totally different from all the other men here. His eyes were full of indifference. No trace of desire at all. That made my heart race instead. It made me want to conquer him. July 12th, cloudy. I picked him. I originally wanted to test his willpower. Turns out he actually held on. I got what I wanted. 3 years at Succubus Academy. I had my first ever experience. It was my first time too. Since it was my first time, even though I tried my best to hold back, I still hurt him. But what I didn't expect was, he was really tough. He didn't break, and more importantly, he didn't fall to my succubus powers. He didn't become obsessed with me. That made me feel like a total failure. July 15th, light rain. Under my careful care, his body is recovering only my scent lingers. My succubus power. He belongs completely to me. After reading all this, Fengjin was smiling the whole time. It was as if he could see a naive, slightly possessive, and conquest-hungry woman carefully writing these notes. She's actually this cute when no one's looking. It's such a contrast to her mature, dominant appearance. Fengjin thought to himself, but as he kept reading through the diary, he realized things weren't as simple as he thought. July 20th, light rain. I don't get it. He's just a human. Why hasn't he fallen after all this time? Just an ordinary man. No special powers whatsoever. Why on earth won't he submit to me? I get it now. My aggressive tactics before won't make him submit. They'll just end up killing him. That's not what I want. So I'm being gentle with him instead. I thought being gentle would make him fall for me. But it didn't work. He's still completely sober-minded. It even looks like he's starting to like me. Is liking the same as love? I looked it up online. In the human world, love seems to be some kind of falling obsession. That piqued my interest. If I make him fall completely in love with me, and then destroy it all, what kind of expression will he have? I'm really looking forward to it. Reading these words, Fengjin was completely stunned. This was different from what he thought, but also the same. He didn't dare to think that way. But he'd had this vague guess in the back of his mind. Fall, destroy. What does that mean? What is she planning to do? Fengjin kept flipping through the pages with a sinking heart. But the next second, the bedroom door opened. Someone walked in. She was still wearing that wedding dress, reeking of alcohol. Have you been drinking? Fengjin asked. Just a little. Tfana closed the door. She walked over to him and saw the diary in Fengjin's hand. She didn't panic at all. You read it, huh? Only half of it. Oh, so do you have any questions for me? Tfana walked over to the desk, sat on the edge of the desk and looked down at Fengjin. Fengjin stared at the diary in his hand and asked with a mix of emotions, Did you ever love me? Love, Tfana said without hesitation. If you love me, then what do falling and destroying mean? Exactly what it sounds like. Literally? Fengjin looked up at Tfana and questioned, You say you love me, but you want to destroy me? Isn't that a contradiction? A contradiction? Tfana asked calmly in return. Among you humans, love and hate are separated by a single thought, but love and hate are inherently complete opposites. By that comparison, me loving you and me wanting to destroy you sounds pretty reasonable too, right? Reasonable? My ass. Fengjin stood up and threw the diary across the room. He said angrily, Don't you think this is boring? Wasting all this time just to destroy me. I was already destroyed once before. You saved me. And now you're going to destroy me again. Are you insane? I'm not insane, I'm perfectly normal. I just wanted to see you look like this. It's so fun Tfana looked at Fang Zheng with a smile on her face. So you're just messing with me? You think this is funny, huh? Then I'll show you what real fun is. The enraged Fang Zheng lunged at her and kissed Tfana forcefully. Faced with Fang Zheng's rebellious move, Tfana didn't react at all, letting Fang Zheng tear her wedding dress to shreds. She just watched with great interest, like she was admiring a work of art. Fang Zheng vented his anger ruthlessly, all over the room, in every corner, and finally on the bed. Are you satisfied? Do you like this? Is this what you wanted? Succubus Tfana. Is this fun enough for you? Fang Zheng roared at Tfana. Tfana's face was flushed, but she still looked completely calm, because what Fang Zheng had done couldn't affect her in the slightest. What did interest her was the tear in the corner of Fang Zheng's eye. She gently caught the tear with her delicate hand and stared at it curiously, before putting it in her mouth. Tastes bitter, bitter. Why are you crying? Are you sad because I betrayed you? Tfana asked. What do you think? Don't tell me you don't even know what sadness is. Fang Zheng was crying and laughing mockingly at the same time. I don't understand. You were always happy when we slept together before. Why aren't you happy now? You cried when you found out the truth. Why are you laughing then? Tfana asked. I'm laughing because you're stupid. You're ignorant, you think you're so tough. Cold and heartless, sometimes you even think you're some kind of god. Wrong, in my eyes. You're just a little kid. A little kid who knows nothing. You're just pretending to be mature. Fang Zheng cursed. Those words stung Tfana deeply. She flipped over and pinned Fang Zheng under her and wrapped her hands around his throat, staring at him with icy eyes. She said, I'm a little kid. Then what are you? A perverted lolicon? Tricked into falling in love by a little kid like me who knows nothing. You got your heart broken. You're the useless piece of trash here. You were so good at acting all cold and distant before, weren't you? What's wrong now? You're mad, aren't you? You're totally broken after I tricked you. Fang Zheng's throat was being squeezed. He could barely breathe. Of course, Tfana wouldn't let him die just like that. She let go of Fang Zheng. She gave a sickly smile and said, You're right. I don't understand love. I don't understand anything. I'm a succubus after all. I don't need to understand all that stuff you're talking about. Those useless emotions only make life weaker. All I need to do is drain you and everything else dry. As for you, you'll just end up as a dried-up corpse. No one will care. Bastard, you bitch! Fang Zheng lifted his hand in rage and slapped Tfana hard twice across the face. Tfana didn't hold back either. She lifted her hand and hit him back, even slapping him 2 extra times. Tch! Tfana spat at Fang Zheng. She mocked. Didn't you say you loved me? When you're dead, I'm gonna go sleep with other guys. Lots of other guys? I'm gonna cuckold you. So many times you won't even be able to rest in peace. These words from Tfana made Fang Zheng so angry that he couldn't speak. He could only grit his teeth. Seeing Fang Zheng look so miserable, Tfana felt no sense of triumph or joy at all. She doesn't understand emotions. But that doesn't mean she doesn't have them. She's just an inherently depraved succubus, that's all. Useless trash, all you know is crying. Are you a little kid? Where'd that cold, aloof act of yours go? You keep spewing insults with your mouth, but your body just keeps throwing itself at me. You're such a shameless slut. You're the shameless one. You disgusting, shameless bitch. You toxic bitch, you asshole. Even if I got bullied by every succubus in the church, it'd be better than being with you. Fang Zheng retorted, furious and humiliated. What? As soon as those words left his mouth, Tfana flew into a rage instantly. She hated it the most when other people touched what was hers. Especially Fang Zheng. Even though she wanted to destroy him herself, that right belonged only to her. No one else was allowed to lay a finger on him. Bitch! Tfana slapped Fang Zheng hard across the face. She snarled, You're the shameless whore here. You're my slave, even if my man dies or gets hurt. I'm the only one who gets to do that to him. Get lost, you don't deserve it. Humph, I'm your master. What do you think? Do I deserve it? I'm gonna make you understand tonight just how powerful I am. You're gonna give me every last drop you have. I'm gonna make you die in despair. Tfana said viciously. Looking at the crazed Tfana in front of him, Fang Zheng actually calmed down. He couldn't hold back the tears in his eyes. He didn't want to believe any of this was real. Things were finally getting better. So why did it have to turn out like this? Fairy tales are just made up, after all. How could a creature like a succubus ever know love? All they ever think about is sex. It's what they live for. The heavens would never grant them the ability to love. Thinking of this, Fang Zheng sighed. He didn't feel all that unwilling to accept it. He also knew he was never going to live long in a place like this. Everything that happened, he'd already prepared for the worst beforehand. The only thing that hurt was the regret. Regret for this naive little crush of his, that's all. Dawn broke, the sky lit up. When Alice arrived at Tfana's dorm, she saw 2 succubi in work uniforms, carrying a stretcher and walking away. Staring at the corpse covered by a white sheet on the stretcher, Alice sighed, then turned and walked into the room. The room was a total mess. You could tell how brutal last night's fight was. Tfana was wearing a thin nightgown, sitting on the windowsill with messy hair, staring blankly out the window. She looked really lonely. Well, you really made a mess of things, huh? So impressive, Alice said in an exaggerated tone to lighten the mood. But Tfana didn't respond at all. She just kept staring out the window. Alice closed the door, walked over to Tfana's side, and patted her on the shoulder, and asked, "Killing your first man with your own hands. How does that feel?" "I don't know," Tfana said in a cold tone. "You don't know? How could you not know?" Alice lifted Tfana's face with her hands, only to see her eyes were red and puffy, 2 streaks of tears running down her cheeks. She looked so pitiful. "You've been crying? I haven't..." Tfana wiped at her tears and said coldly, "It's just from staying up all night." "Oh, right. You were at it all night, after all. That's pretty tiring." Alice nodded. She didn't call Tfana out on her lie. She sat down next to her and said, "Honestly, though, when my first contracted slave died, I was pretty upset too. That's just how we succubi are. Kind of like vampires. We hurt people, that's what we do. You'll get used to it. You'll kill way more people in the future, because this is how you survive. You and them are just hunter and prey, that's it. Nothing more." "I know that, but I just..." Tfana clutched tightly at her chest. She said, voice aching. "It hurts. It hurts right here. I thought once he was dead, I'd be able to get over it right away and grow as a succubus. But none of this was as easy as I thought it'd be. It's so hard." Alice sighed and pulled Tfana into a hug, stroked her silver hair and comforted her. "It's okay. Take it slow, you'll get used to it after a few more times. I'll take you to the equipment building later. You can have fun however you want, my treat." "No, I'm not in the mood. I just want to be alone right now," Tfana said. Alice nodded helplessly. "All right then. You can have some time alone. Call me if you need anything." In the underground hallway of the hospital, a succubus was pushing a cart down the corridor. Looking at the handsome face of the man on the cart, the succubus nurse clicked her tongue and said sadly, "Poor thing. Dead after just one night. That top of the class really lives up to her reputation, huh?" She got to the morgue, moved Fang Zheng's body onto a mortuary table, then turned and left. Not long after the door closed, Fang Zheng's body moved. His fingers twitched slightly twice. Then he opened his eyes. As Fang Zheng took a sharp breath, he started coughing. He felt like he'd just almost drowned. Gasping for air, he sat up from the mortuary table, looking around at everything in confusion. "Am I dead?" He looked down at his body. His skin was deathly pale. It was obvious he'd been dead. But for some unknown reason, he was alive again. He got off the table, looking down at his naked body. Fang Zheng covered his lower half with a mortuary sheet, then walked barefoot towards the door. Just then he heard voices talking outside. It sounded like someone was coming. "Miss Lucy, don't you think Tfana went too far? It's only been one night, and she already killed him." Bang! The morgue door swung open. 2 women stood in the doorway and saw Fang Zheng, pale as a ghost. The chattering succubus nurse saw him. Her eyes went wide and she screamed, "Ghost!" "What?" Fang Zheng came back to life. Tfana was moping in her dorm room. When she got a call from the hospital, she perked up immediately. "Keep an eye on him, I'm on my way right now." After hanging up the phone, Tfana got off the windowsill and ran out barefoot. Back at the hospital, Fang Zheng was being looked after by Lucy, eating food and drinking warm water. His originally pale skin was slowly regaining its color. Lucy looked at him worriedly. and asked concernedly, "Are you okay? Do you feel any pain anywhere?" "I'm fine, I got lucky. Survived somehow." Fang Zheng smiled faintly, then asked curiously, "Did you come to the morgue to see me?" I know Tfana. She was only being nice to you, because she wanted to go all in. The day you signed the contract with her was supposed to be the day you died. That's why I tried to stop you that day," Lucy said. Fang Zheng sighed. "I actually guessed that might happen. I just wanted to take a chance. Bet that she wasn't like that. Turns out I lost. I guess I brought this on myself." "No, this has nothing to do with you." Lucy holds Fang Zheng's hand. She says earnestly, "That's just how things work here. You shouldn't trust anyone, or get your hopes up for anyone. Then who am I supposed to trust? If I can't trust anyone at all, what's the point of all this? What's the meaning of my life? What am I supposed to do? Am I just supposed to drag out a miserable existence like this?" Fang Zheng asks rhetorically. Lucy lets go of his hand. She turns her head away and says, "I can't answer that for you. You have to find the answer yourself. You need to figure out your own reason to keep living." "Reason?" Fang Zheng tilts his head up to look at the sun outside the window. He falls deep in thought. What reason do I have to live? What can I even do if I stay alive? After thinking for a while, Lucy suddenly speaks up. "Hey, come with me." "Come with you? Anyway, Tfana doesn't want you anymore. You can belong to me instead." Lucy looks at him gently. Just as Fang Zheng is hesitating, the sound of rapid footsteps approaches. Then a familiar voice rings out. "Don't listen to her. She's not a good person either." They look over and see Tfana running over in disheveled clothes. She stops right in front of Fang Zheng. Tfana de Fang Zheng, looking at Fang Zheng alive and well right in front of her. Tfana's eyes turn red. She reaches out to touch him. But right at that moment, Lucy steps in front of Fang Zheng to block her. She stares coldly at Tifa. "Nah, you've already tortured him like this. Do you still want to hurt him even more?" Faced with Lucy's questioning, Tfana can't say a word. She's torn inside. When she thought she'd lost Fang Zheng, she realized just how important he was to her. But as a succubus, she also knows Fang Zheng has to die. If Fang Zheng doesn't die, she will never be able to grow stronger and become a powerful succubus. Even so, she still doesn't want to lose Fang Zheng. Her possessiveness won't let Fang Zheng belong to anyone else. She'd rather kill him with her own hands than let him go. Thinking of this, Tfana lifts her head. She looks coldly at Lucy and says, "What happens to him has nothing to do with you. Fang Zheng is my slave. Alive, he belongs to me. Dead, he's still mine. You..." Lucy's face turns pale with rage. She turns to Fang Zheng and says, "Come with me. I'll find a way to cancel the contract between you two. Don't trust her. She's not a good person either. Her reputation as the famous gourmet isn't just for show." Tfana says coldly. Lucy has her back turned to her, so she can do nothing but glare angrily at Tfana. But Tfana is an old-timer who repeated 3 grades and was top of the grade all 3 years. She isn't afraid of Lucy at all. Just as the two are glaring at each other and about to start a fight, Fang Zheng speaks up. "Miss Lucy." Hearing this, Tfana is completely stunned. She swears she can hear the sound of her own heart shattering. Lucy looks at Fang Zheng excitedly and says, "You've made up your mind to come with me, right?" Fang Zheng shakes his head apologetically and says, "No, that's not it. I wanted to say I'm sorry." Hearing this, Lucy's eyes widen. She asks in disbelief, "You're turning me down. Are you sure?" Going back to her is a definite death sentence. You don't actually think this succubus would change for you, do you? That's impossible. She'll still end up killing you. I know, but I'm the slave she bought with her credits. I belong to her. Fang Zheng looks at Tfana behind Lucy and says every word deliberately. Tfana stares blankly at Fang Zheng. That determined gaze of his makes it feel like they're back to when they first met. It's so captivating. Makes you want to conquer him. Seeing how determined Fang Zheng is, Lucy sighs and says, "This is the second time. The second time you've turned me down. I'm not angry, but how many more chances do you think you'll get? Thank you for caring about me. I don't regret this." Fang Zheng says. Lucy heaves a heavy sigh. She turns around, glances at Tfana, and walks away. After Lucy leaves, Tfana walks over to Fangjung and sits down next to him. Fangjung glances at her bare feet and asks concernedly, "Aren't your feet cold?" Tfana awkwardly pulls her feet back and says, "No, they're not cold. But why are you still willing to stay? You already know what kind of person I am. Don't tell me you still have feelings for..." "You're overthinking this. I'm not stupid enough to make the same mistake. Twice with the same person," Fangjung says indifferently. After a few seconds of awkward silence, Tfana lifts her chin and goes back to her usual cold, aloof self. She questions, "Then why are you staying?" "Because I want to get revenge on you." Fangjung looks at her and says, "Revenge? On me? How?" "It's simple. Didn't you say that? As long as I'm alive. You won't touch any other man. Then I'll keep clinging to you. Even if I only have one breath left, I'll still cling to you. So that you can only touch me for your whole life and never get the chance to touch another man. For a succubus as promiscuous as you by nature, this should be the most painful revenge possible, right?" Fangjung says with a smile. Tfana looks slightly surprised. She really didn't expect the so-called revenge to be like this. She feels no fear or anger at all hearing this. Instead, she feels a little happy. "You want to take revenge on me with this trick? It actually works. For any succubus, only being able to touch one man in your entire life is extremely humiliating." Tfana says seriously, "But you need to think this through. How long do you think you can live? Under my watch? You won't even last a single day. And you still want to take revenge on me this way? That's nothing but a pipe dream." Faced with Tfana's mockery, Fangjung says calmly, "Maybe. I might die tonight. Or maybe tomorrow. But my mind is made up. Lucy said if you want to live long, you need at least one goal. So taking revenge on you is my goal." "Revenge on me? Revenge on me." Tfana snorts and laughs as she mumbles those words. She holds her forehead and bursts out laughing. The people around them are all confused by this scene and turn to look at them. Is she crazy? No. She's just really happy. She's thrilled. After leaving the hospital, Tfana pulls Fangjung along and stops in front of a vending machine by the road. She buys a bottle of recovery drink and hands it to him. For me, buying this for someone who's about to die is a bit of a waste, isn't it? Fangjung says self-deprecatingly as he looks at the drink in his hand. "You will die, but I won't let you die that easily. Your death has to be worth something," Tfana says. Fangjung chuckles softly, opens the drink and takes a sip. Then Tfana pulls him to the cafeteria and orders a nutritious meal at the succubus counter. "Eat this, you'll recover faster." Tfana placed the dinner plate in front of Fangjung. "What about you? Aren't you going to eat?" Fangjung asked confusedly. "You eat your meal, I'll eat you," Tfana said calmly. Although Fangjung didn't really approve of Tfana's behavior, of spending so much money on him, he still accepted it gladly. After all, only if you live long enough. Can you get enough revenge on the other person? Watching Fangsho wolf down the nutrition bar seriously, Tfana broke into a pleased smile. Then she reached out her hand. Fangjung, who was in the middle of eating, was shocked. He looked at Tfana and asked in surprise, "I'm eating, yeah, so I'm hungry too. But this is a restaurant." "Exactly, a succubus restaurant. It's totally normal. Look at them, aren't they doing the same?" Following the direction Tfana was pointing, he saw a succubus and her slave, messing around right on the dining table. What's more, everyone around acted like they saw nothing, not surprised at all. Fangjung still found this a little hard to accept, but Tfana didn't care whether he accepted it or not. With her true nature fully revealed, she was no longer the gentle and considerate person she used to be. She was now willful and domineering. Biting back his sense of shame, Fangjung lowered his head and kept eating. He didn't dare to look at the reactions of people around. "You're already this shy. Are you sure you can get revenge on me like this?" Tfana rested her cheek on one hand, playing around casually. Who says I'm shy? I'm not a girl. I've got really thick skin." Fangjung snorted and said, that being said, he was genuinely nervous. After all, he was a human. He had a sense of shame. Tfana didn't. She saw this kind of thing all the time in class, and in her daily life. It was as common as eating for her. "Oh, really? Then why are you shaking so badly? Don't tell me you can't handle it. You're usually so lasting. Why are you being such a wimp now?" Tfana taunted. "Who are you saying can't handle it?" Fangjung glared at her angrily. You hypocritical man. Tfana looked at him contemptuously. Fang Zheng was just about to lose his temper when his body trembled suddenly. Tfana leaned in first. Skuk, what's going on here? Our infamous shame of all succubi, the so-called pure and virtuous Miss Tfana, is actually messing around in public. That's so inappropriate, isn't it? Right at this moment, a teasing voice sounded. Alice walked over holding a leash. The other end of the leash was attached to Kaylin. Fang Zheng, are you okay? Kaylin looked at Fang Zheng with a complicated expression and asked concerned, I'm fine. Not gonna die anytime soon. Hoshou gave a helpless smile. Tfana slowly lifted her head. She squinted, licked her lips with a satisfied look. She said as if reliving the moment, this feeling is really fun. No wonder everyone had so much fun with it before. I told you. If you ever got a slave, you'd be way more into this than I am. Alice sat down across from them. She crossed her pretty legs and sized up Fang Zheng. Heard you came back from the dead. That really surprised me a little. I thought it was just a last burst of energy before you kicked the bucket. But looking at you now, you can still handle her tormenting you. You're probably not doing too bad. Fang Zheng ate his nutrition meal and said calmly, I'm just clinging to life, that's all. Maybe I'll get sent back there again tomorrow. Of course you will. If you don't die, Tfana won't be able to touch any other men, and she won't be able to grow stronger either. She's super stubborn by nature. So even if you're really great, even if she doesn't want you to die, you still have to die. That's something that can't be changed no matter what, Alice said coldly. I know you know that, and you still dared to come back even though you knew. I'm really curious. Lucy gave you a chance, even though she's not a good person either. If you stayed with her, you could have at least lived for a while longer. Why would you come back to Tfana? Are you looking to die? Exactly, I'm looking to die. Because I don't want to live anymore, Fang Zheng said indifferently. Huh? Alice looked completely shocked. Fang Zheng, calm down. Don't give up. Kaylin tried to persuade him. Fang Zheng gave him a faint smile and said, I'm not giving up. On the contrary, I've never been more determined than ever. Determined to kill yourself? Alice looked at Tfana confusedly and asked, what's wrong with him? Is he crazy? No, he's totally normal. I like him more and more every day. Tfana wrapped her arm around Fang Zheng and kissed him on the cheek happily. Fang Zheng wiped his face in disgust, like he'd just been slobbered on by a pig. Alice laughed when she saw this. She teased Tfana, so what's your plan here? Are you gonna let him go? Tfana shook her head. Of course not. Same as before. Nothing's changed. Then how come you two are getting along so well again? What are you two even thinking? Alice looked at the two of them in shock. Tfana smiled faintly and patted Fang Zheng's head. She said, I guess you could say we have a love-hate relationship. I won't let him go. He won't let me go either. We'll just see who can hold out longer. The next morning, Alice came to the classroom. She saw that Tfana, who had arrived early, was sitting at the desk, reading a magic book carefully. Tfana, I heard people say on my way here. Paramedics went to your dorm this morning. Don't tell me, he's dead, Tfana said calmly, not looking up from her book. Alice gasped sharply. She complained, Girl, are you actually being serious? The way you were acting yesterday, I thought you were gonna let him go. I can't believe you went this far again. Do you hate him that much? This isn't hate. It's love. Tfana corrected seriously. Huh? You call this love? You killed him. You call this love? No way. Even succubi don't go this far, do they? He finally came back to life after so much trouble. Can you at least have a little sympathy? Alice couldn't help but complain. You're the one who told me to do this, Tfana said. Alice was instantly speechless. What the fuck? I did tell you to do that. But I didn't tell you to wring the same sheep dry twice, did I? Fang Zheng knew perfectly well you lied to him. That you're a total scumbag. He still turned down Lucy. Chose you. And what did you do? This is how you treat him. What else am I supposed to do? If he doesn't die, I'll only ever be able to be with him for the rest of my life. Now Alice was at a loss for words. She sighed and said, Fine. He's already dead anyway. I'll take you to the equipment building after class to pick a new one. No rush, no rush. What do you mean? Don't tell me you think he can actually come back to life again, Alice complained. By noon, The two of them finished class and went to the hospital. Then I saw Fang Zheng was sitting on a bench in the hospital corridor. His face was slightly pale, but not as bad as when he was carried away that morning. At the sight of this, Alice was completely stunned. Holy shit, he actually came back to life. Did he lock his HP bar? Tfana walked up to Fang Zheng and handed him the recovery drink she had prepared. Then she sat down beside him and asked with concern, "Why didn't you go back?" "No key and I'm dead tired. Can't even walk, okay? Then I'll come earlier next time." "No need, I can walk back by myself after resting for a while." "That's not gonna work." "What if you pass out halfway? If some creep takes advantage of you? That'd cause a huge mess." Watching the two chat calmly, Alice was totally confused. She really couldn't figure out what was going on with these two, let alone what was wrong with Fang Zheng. Is he actually stupid? He got killed twice in a row, and he's still willing to go back with Tfana. "Fang Zheng, you're not actually going back with Tfana, are you?" Alice asked. Of course I am. I belong to her," Fang Zheng said with a look of obvious naturalness. Alice was left speechless. Tfana broke into a happy smile, lifted Fang Zheng up, and set him on her lap. She held him in her arms like a baby, nuzzled his neck, and took a deep breath. Oh, that's so perverted. Looking at Tfana's love-struck look, Alice made a disgusted face. Fang Zheng, however, was totally calm. He sipped the recovery drink slowly through a straw. "You look pretty relaxed. Are you really not afraid of death?" Alice asked curiously. Fang Zheng smiled faintly and replied, "For me, death is no big deal. After all, in this place, as far as I'm concerned, there's no difference between life and death." "Whoa, you're that chill about it. But a lot of people still want to stay alive, you know? There's an old saying, right? A living dog is better than a dead lion," Alice said. "Then do you think I'm just scraping by right now?" Fang Zheng asked. Well, Alice stroked her chin, thought for a moment and said, "Yes and no, it's not exactly scraping by. You live for the sake of living, so you can do whatever you want. But what you're doing is straight up courting death. You're just really lucky, like a cockroach that just won't die." "That makes sense. He really is just like a cockroach. No matter how you try to kill him." Tfana nibbled gently on Fang Zheng's earlobe, teasing him on purpose. "Come on, I just recovered. Can't you cut it out for a bit?" Fang Zheng patted her smooth leg and reminded her, "No, I can kill you whenever I want. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. Your opinion doesn't matter," Tfana said domineeringly. "Hey, Fang Zheng, Tfana, that's enough, okay? This is already his third life. You can let something slide once, twice, but never a third or fourth time." Alice couldn't help speaking up for Fang Zheng. "No need, let her do whatever she wants," Fang Zheng said calmly. "Dude, I'm sticking up for you here. Do you actually have a death wish?" Alice asked in shock. "If I don't die, she can never touch another man." "Do you want that?" Fang Zheng asked. "Can't you just change this? Worst case, just don't let Tfana buy any other slaves. Just let you be her only slave, right?" Alice suggested. Tfana's eyes lit up. She'd actually had the same thought. After all, she was growing more and more fond of Fang Zheng. She really didn't want him to die. Faced with this suggestion, Fang Zheng shook his head and said firmly, "No way, as long as I'm alive, she can't touch any man other than me. If I ever find out she did, I'll kill myself." "What, are you insane? What the hell is wrong with you?" Alice was dumbfounded. When Tfana heard this, a hint of sadness and loss crossed her face, but she felt excited deep down. She couldn't help holding Fang Zheng even tighter. "I've made up my mind. I'm going to get back at her. As long as I'm alive, she can't touch other men. That's my revenge on her," Fang Zheng said resolutely. Tfana, who was behind Fang Zheng, called out Fang Zheng's name emotionally and happily. As a succubus, she loves desire more than anything. And from Fang Zheng's words, she felt that intense, endless desire that transcends life and death. Crazy and romantic at the same time. Alice stared blankly at Fang Zheng. She seemed to finally understand a little why Tfana was so obsessed with him. This crazy, life-risking idea, the idea of imprisoning someone with your own life, is just so romantic, so fascinating. Damn, no wonder Tfana likes you so much. Turns out both of you are nuts. Both of you are equally stubborn," Alice complained. I was forced into this. She wanted to destroy me. So I'm gonna pay her back the same way. Destroy her entire life as a succubus. Make her the shame of all succubi forever, only ever touching me, Fangzheng said calmly. Fangzheng. Tfana couldn't hold herself back any longer. Turned Fangzheng around to face her and kissed him. Damn it, Tfana! This is a fucking hospital. Calm down, Alice hurriedly reminded her, but it was no use. Tfana had been completely aroused by Fangzheng. Right now, she only wanted to teach this arrogant little man a hard lesson. Time passed day by day just like that. Fangzheng and Tfana kept up their love-hate dynamic. Almost every morning, Fangzheng was carried away half dead. At first, Tfana was a little sad and nervous, but she got used to it after a while. She'd pick Fangzheng up from the hospital after class in the morning, get him a recovery drink, eat, then go back to the dorm to train, all the way until the next morning. 10 days, half a month. After a whole month, Fangzheng had lost a lot of weight. His body became very slim. He used to weigh around 67 kilos. Now he only weighs about 60 kilos. From the back, he even looks like a girl. Even so, he wasn't turned into an idiot by Tfana's succubus power. On the contrary, he was still very clear-headed. It's just that his personality became even more aloof, and he barely smiled anymore. Fangzheng, are you doing okay lately? When Kaylin saw him, she felt really bad inside. If it hadn't been for her back then, Fangzheng wouldn't have agreed to Tfana's terms. So definitively, even though she had been hypnotized by Alice back then, seeing Fangzheng in his current state, she still felt really guilty. I'm fine, it's always like this. Can't die. Fangzheng sipped the recovery potion and said with a cold, indifferent look on his face. He was already a regular at the hospital by now. For this, Tfana even got a premium membership at the hospital. Every time Fangzheng comes over, she will arrange a ward for him, along with all kinds of nutritional supplements. Hi there, little brother Fangzheng. Big Sis is here to bring you nutrient solution. A sexy succubus in a nurse uniform walked in, greeting Fangzheng warmly. Good morning, Selena. Thanks so much for taking care of me these days, sis. Fangzheng thanked her. You're very welcome. If you really want to thank me, you can let Big Sis have a taste of you. That would make me super happy. The sexy succubus nurse looked at Fangzheng hungrily, her eyes filled with all sorts of ideas about him. Over the past month, all the doctors and nurses at the hospital have witnessed Fangzheng's immortal miracle with their own eyes. For succubi, he is literally the perfect being. Just think about it. If you had a drink bottle that never runs empty, how awesome would that be? You'd have endless drinks for your whole life. The only thing that bums them out is Fangzheng, this shared bike that should be available to everyone, actually got locked up by Tfana. Sure, slaves belong to their masters. That doesn't mean they can only serve their masters. Lots of slaves sneak around to hook up with others on the down low. Some masters even like swapping them for fun. But a top-tier slave like Fangzheng is being held onto tightly by Tfana, no matter how much others offer. She refuses to share him at all. So for these succubus nurses who are around Fangzheng all day, getting a taste of him would be absolutely amazing. Facing Selena's hungry gaze, Fangzheng smiled faintly and said, I'd agree, but do you dare? Selena really wanted to say yes, but the second she thought about how terrifying Tfana is, she chickened out immediately. Last time, a succubus tried to make a move on Fangzheng in the hospital, and Tfana caught her red-handed. Tfana immediately used her succubus powers to destroy her mind and consciousness. She peed and pooped herself in front of the whole hospital. Literally, no exaggeration. That succubus is still lying in the hospital now, too tortured by Tfana's powers to get up. They have to change her sheets every single day. Thinking about ending up like that, Selena couldn't help shivering. She shook her head in panic and said, No, I'll pass. If she finds out, she'll definitely make me pay. Watching Selena put down the tray and hurry off, Fangzheng smiled disdainfully. Looks like Tfana's reputation really precedes her. All these succubi are scared to death of her. I don't know how you've survived this long. Kaylin looked at Fangzheng with a complicated expression. Fangzheng looked totally relaxed and said, It's no big deal. I just want revenge, that's all. Revenge? You call this revenge? Under your so-called revenge? She's enjoying herself every single day. The wild experience every succubus dreams of, getting to fuck you as much as she wants with no worries. I heard from Alice. Tfana's power is growing really fast lately. It's all because of you. You alone provide all the lust energy she needs. Your revenge isn't making her life worse. It's getting better and better every day, Kalen said. Is that really the case? Fengsho snorted coldly. You know what? This past month, she hasn't touched any other man? Besides me, right? Your Alice must have hooked up with a ton of guys this past month, huh? Kalen nodded, looking a little helpless, but also pretty relaxed as he said, she's a succubus. This kind of thing is normal for her. Plus, when she's focused on other guys, I get time to relax too. Not ending up in the hospital every other day like you... So, succubi are promiscuous by nature. But I've managed to suppress that nature of hers with my own body. Do you think she's suffering inside? Fangjung asked. Kalen raised an eyebrow, stroked his chin, thought for a second. That makes some sense. But you're torturing yourself too, you know? People need a goal to live for. And my goal is to get revenge on her. As long as I'm alive, I'll suppress her nature. Stop her from being promiscuous, from touching other men, Fangsheng said firmly. Listening to Fangjung's words, Kalen had nothing to say. He just gave him a thumbs up. Damn, you're next level. Guess the tough one met the fearless one. You two are literally made for each other. Yeah, I think so too. Maybe the reason I'm here is that the heavens sent me to punish this woman. If you let her out, how many families would suffer? Fangjung sighed. You're right. These succubi have been living among us this whole time. There must be tons of families that have been torn apart because of them. The two of them grew really heavy-hearted at that thought. Then, Kalen patted Fangjung on the shoulder and said, Bro, hope you can hold on. Tomorrow, the day after. Every day from now on. I hope I can still see you. Fangjung smiled faintly and said, Me too. With that, Kalen left the ward, leaving Fangjung alone to eat his nutritional meal and enjoy the view outside the window. This is the only time every day that he can relax and enjoy life a little, but this peace doesn't last long, because when Tfana gets here, he won't have time to enjoy any of this. After a while, there was a creak. The ward door opened. The nurse who came in closed the door behind her, walked over to the bed, pulled back the covers and climbed on. Fangjung turned his head in confusion. Then realization hit him. He looked surprised at Tfana in the nurse uniform and said, Didn't know you were into this kind of roleplay. Where'd you get the nurse uniform? Bought it, didn't cost many credits. Tfana swayed her graceful hips skillfully, leaned down and kissed Fangjung. Fangjung didn't resist. His hand naturally rested on her beautiful legs in white stockings. It's been a whole month that you've lasted this long. Really surprises me and makes me really happy. Tfana pulled Fangjung into her arms and said to him, Happy? Shouldn't you be angry and disgusted with me? Disgusted? Why would you say that? Tfana asked confusedly. Because of me, you can't touch other men. For a promiscuous succubus like you, that must be absolute torture, right? Forsho teased. Tfana chuckled and said not at all. Other succubi might not be able to hold back. But remember, ever since I gained consciousness and became a succubus, I was a virgin for 3 whole years. Even though I'm promiscuous by nature, my self-control is really strong too. Plus, you're so perfect. So good that you satisfy all my needs. Why would I bother touching other men? Looking at Tfana's smiling face, Fangjung said coldly, Stop acting tough. You're a succubus, a filthy creature whose only thought is lust. Why are you pretending to be pure in front of me? Facing Fangjung's insults, Tfana didn't get angry at all. She buried her face against Fangjung's neck. She kissed him and said, I'm not putting on an innocent act. This is my true nature. Though succubi are driven by their desires, every succubus has different desires. As for me, all I want is to pursue perfection, strength and power. I don't care how many men I'm with, one or even countless ones. They're just numbers to me. All I need is to sate the endless lust energy and conquer you completely, and claim you as mine. With those last words, Tfana bit down hard on Fangjung's shoulder. She held him tightly. Conquer me? Fangjung endured the pain with great effort and said, Haven't you already conquered me? You possess me every single day. No, that's just physical conquest and possession. What I'm after is your heart. Your soul, I want every part of you to submit to me. to belong only to me. Tfana released Fang Zheng's shoulder, licked the blood off her lips, and looked at Fang Zheng seductively. Fang Zheng stroked her pure silver hair and said flatly, "That's impossible." "Why?" "Because I don't have a heart anymore." "That's nonsense." Tfana placed her hand on Fang Zheng's chest, feeling his heartbeat, and said, "Isn't your heart right here? I can feel it beating." Fang Zheng placed his own hand on her chest in return and said, "I can feel your heartbeat too." But what does that even mean? Does it mean love?
What are you talking about?
Tfana asked, confused. Conquering someone's heart means winning their love. And I'm not capable of love anymore. I'm just like you now. So how are you gonna conquer me? Fang Zheng asked. Tfana froze. She stared at Fang Zheng with a dazed look in her eyes and asked confusedly, "Why? You're human. How can you not be capable of love? You were in love with me before, weren't you?" "I was, but that love is long shattered. I've lost the ability to love. I'll never love anyone ever again." Fang Zheng looked out the window and said in a cold, detached tone. Hearing those words, Tfana felt a tight twist in her chest. She bit her lip lightly and said, "Even if it's gone, I can get it back." "Get it back? How?" Fang Zheng turned to look at her with a mocking expression and said, "I'm not even afraid of death. You will never conquer my body. All I feel for you is hatred. So how the hell are you gonna conquer my heart?" "So what? I succeeded once. I can succeed a second time. If one day isn't enough, I'll take 2. If 2 days aren't enough, I'll take a month. If a month isn't enough, I'll take a year. If a year isn't enough, I'll take 10. I'll spend my whole life on it if I have to. There's no way you'll stay like this forever." As she spoke, Tfana pressed herself against him roughly, like she was venting her frustration. Fang Zheng couldn't stand it anymore. So he leaned forward and bit Tfana's shoulder hard. He left a clear teeth mark on her fair snow-white skin. Tfana didn't get mad at all over this. She looked at Fang Zheng, who was holding back because of her, his expression a mix of repressed desire and pleasure, and the urge to conquer him in her heart grew stronger and stronger. "You're mine. Your body, your heart, your soul, all of it is mine. Every last part of it belongs to me," Tfana cried out loudly. Bang! The next second, the ward door swung open. Serena, the succubus nurse, stood in the doorway, staring at the 2 people on the bed with her jaw dropped. "Get out!" Tfana snapped angrily. "Oh, right. Sorry." Serena scrambled to back out and closed the door behind her. Outside the door, a whole crowd of succubus nurses, doctors, and succubus patients were gathered together. "What's going on? Is someone sneaking a hookup in there?" As soon as Serena stepped outside, someone asked curiously. Serena shrugged and said, "As if that would happen. Who would dare be that bold? That's Tfana in there. No idea where she got that. Nurse uniform. She's so kinky. Role-playing too. She's so wild." "That's Tfana for you. Daring to mess around like this in the hospital. And not even trying to hide it." Tch, she's the top student in her year after all. But seriously though, that Fang Zheng is really something else. He's been put through hell by her for an entire month, and he's still totally fine. Tsk, that just makes me want him even more. I wonder what it's like to be with Fang Zheng. You can... Forget it. Tfana's already staked her claim on him. No one else is allowed to touch him. Ugh, that's so annoying. We're succubi, for God's sake. NTR is kind of our whole thing. Hello. Did Tfana watch too much anime or something? Now she's being a pure love warrior. Total weirdo. Time marches on. The days fly by. Half a year passed in the blink of an eye. Under Tfana's constant torment, Fang Zheng somehow managed to survive half a year. He'd also become a total legend at the academy, known by every succubus in the place. The average survival time for a human in the succubus academy is less than 3 months. Fang Zheng has already doubled that record. I'm starting to think it's kind of crazy now. He's not actually gonna hang around you forever, is he? In the classroom, Alice sat in front of Tfana, turned around to chat with her. Tfana was reading her magic book with a calm expression and said, "I don't care. If he can actually pull that off, that's his own skill. But if he really does stick around forever, you'll never be able to be with anyone else for your whole life. Are you really okay with that?" What else would I do? He satisfies every need I have anyway. And I'm super picky. If I lost him, finding a next target would be such a hassle. I might even lose control of my succubus powers and die. That'd be so boring. Tfana said. Alice nodded in agreement. That makes sense. If that really happened, it'd be really troublesome. You've only had eyes for him for 3 whole years. It'd be such a shame if he died. But if that's the case, shouldn't you be trying harder to keep him alive? Tormenting him like this every day isn't going to work long term. He's held on this long, hasn't he? That's just because he's tough as nails. Who knows how much longer he can keep it up? And seriously, Feng Zheng's personality is getting colder and colder these days. Kaylin was complaining to me the other day. When she saw Fang Zheng earlier, he barely smiled at all. He had the same blank face the whole time. And they're his only good friends, for crying out loud. And even with them, he's like that. Do you think Fang Zheng is having mental issues? After hearing that, Tfana couldn't stay calm anymore. She closed her magic book, let out a long sigh and said, I know that. At first I thought he was just mad at me, figured it'd blow over with time. But he's getting colder and colder now. Quiet, barely talks, never smiles, barely shows any emotion at all. He's even colder than I am. What about when you're in bed? I mean, when you're having sex, his emotions are normal, right? He's not still stone-faced then, is he? Alice explained awkwardly. Tfana glared at her annoyed and said, it's not that bad. Oh, that's a relief. But for some reason lately, when we're in bed, he doesn't get affected as easily as he used to. It's like he's built up an immunity to me. Immunity? What do you mean? Alice asked curiously. He just doesn't make as big a deal out of things as before. His reactive expressions aren't as cheeky and flirty as they used to be. Hell, sometimes he doesn't even pay attention to me, no matter how much I mess with him. He just sits there reading a book. He doesn't take me seriously at all, Tfana said in a complaining tone. After hearing what her best friend said, Alice was completely shocked. Come on, this is Tfana we're talking about. A total genius among succubi. Even other succubi can't resist her succubus powers. Alice could barely wrap her head around it. That Fang Zheng could be in Tfana's bed and stay completely calm, and even focus on reading a book. That's total bullshit, right? No succubus could put up with that. It's practically an insult to all succubi. Are you kidding me? He's that tough now. Not only is he not worn down by your succubus powers, he's actually immune to them now, Alice said, stunned. Tfana nodded. She said seriously, I'm not kidding at all. He's really different now. He's so cold and distant, even more than when we first met. He can't be fazed by me at all, even if I mock him. Tease him, or even suck up to him, nothing works. This sounds way more serious than I thought. If this keeps up, it won't be you dumping him. It'll be him, one day in the future, losing all feelings and urges for you, and dumping you first, Alice said worriedly. Hearing that, Tfana immediately panicked. She stared at Alice wide-eyed. Dump me. Would he actually dump me? Oh, I was just talking out of my ass. Wait, you're his master, right? There's no way he has the right to dump you no matter what. But still, like in those human TV shows we watch between married couples, if one side loses all feelings and desire for the other, they cheat. It's the same for us succubi. When we get bored of a slave, we throw them away and get a new one. What if one day you make him lose all feelings and desire for you completely? Then wouldn't he go look for... Shut up! Tfana slammed her hand on the table. She stood up in front of the whole class and headed for the door. Just then, the class bell rang. The succubus mentor, Shayna, walked to the classroom door, only to see Tfana walking out with a cold look on her face. Tfana, class is starting. I have something to take care of. I'm skipping this class, but you'll lose credits for that. Whatever. Shayna watched Tfana's cold, distant back as she left. Teacher Shayna could only say helplessly, Fine, I'll give you 1 period off then. For top students like Tfana who rank first in the grade, the succubus mentors are all pretty partial to her. It's pretty much the same as human schools. Meanwhile, in the cafeteria, Fangxing was having breakfast with Kaylin, since both of them had been tortured all night. So after their respective masters got up and went to class, another hour passed. Before they finally got out of bed, they washed up and headed to the cafeteria for breakfast. Whoa, your breakfast looks so good. Looking at the nutritional meal on Fang Zheng's plate, Kaylin was really jealous. Want some? Fang Zheng asked. Kaylin shook his head. He declined politely. No, I'm good. You need this way more than I do anyway. Even though we're both slaves, everyone knows how much harder Fang Zheng has it. How could Kylene have the nerve to take his food? As long as his bro is doing okay, he's already thanking his lucky stars. Good thing you don't want any. This stuff actually tastes like crap anyway. They make it to pack in as much nutrition as possible. They barely add any seasoning. Fang Zheng complained. Kalen smiled faintly. He ate his own soy milk and fried dough sticks, and looked over at Fang Jing. He asked, "You don't go to the hospital as much anymore, right? I haven't seen you go there in ages." Hosho nodded. He said, "Yeah, less often." "It's been a week, right?" "A whole week? That's awesome. Did Tfana go easy on you?" "A little, but not really. She hasn't cut me any slack at all, really. She's just busy studying for exams lately." Hosho said, "That's great, though. It means your body is getting stronger. Looks like your physique is really special. All of us are getting more and more worn out. You, on the other hand, are getting stronger and stronger. That's so enviable." "Enviable?" Fang Zheng snorted. He said, "Wait till you end up with a succubus like Tfana. You won't be jealous anymore, trust me." Kalen smiled awkwardly. "I was just kidding. I might be a little jealous, but I'm also actually terrified. You're literally dancing on the edge of death every day. One day, if the King of Hell gets pissed off, he's gonna come for you." "Fine by me, I'll be waiting." Fang Zheng leaned back in his chair. "Drinking a recovery drink?" He said, "But I hope it's a hot chick in black stockings that comes for me. Wait, like a female Grim Reaper?" "Dude, come on!" "Tfana is so hot. She tortures you every single day. And you still have the brain space to think about that," Kalen said in shock. "She's hot, sure, but after a while, you get this weird feeling you can't really describe. How do I put it? I'm kind of sick of it. There's no excitement anymore." Hey. Just then, Fang Zheng. Kalen coughed twice. "What? Did I say something wrong?" "For 6 months straight, she's messed with me like that every single day. Anyone would get sick of it. Not to mention, she's always the one bullying me. Sure, she has a lot of different tricks, but it's always the same stuff over and over. Even the insults and taunts she throws at me. I'm sick of hearing them too. They don't even faze me anymore." Fang Zheng was talking freely, not holding back. He didn't notice that Kylene, sitting across from him, was looking more and more awkward, trying to signal him with his eyes over and over. "Is that really true?" A voice suddenly sounded from behind him. Fang Zheng jumped in shock. He turned around and saw Tfana standing there with a cold look on her face. "Tfana, what are you doing here?" "Aren't you supposed to be in class?" Fang Zheng asked in surprise. "I skipped class." "Skipping class? You'll lose credits for that. You think I care about a few lousy credits?" Tfana pulled out the chair next to him and sat down. Kalen stood up awkwardly across from them and said, I have something I need to do. I'm gonna head out first, okay?" "Wait, what thing?" Fang Zheng tried to get him to stay, but Kalen bolted right away. He didn't dare stay any longer around Tfana. "You scared him off again." "You should have just stayed in class, you know? Why'd you skip class to come find me? There's only one class a day. Is it really necessary to skip it?" "You interrupted my chat with Kalen." Fang Zheng complained unhappily. "Oh, really? I'm sorry then." "My bad." Tfana said, "It's fine, no big deal. Did you come to find me for something?" Fang Zheng asked. Tfana pulled her chair right up next to Fang Zheng's. She leaned in and stared right at him. She said, "When I first got here, I was standing right behind you, and I heard every single word you just said. You said you're sick of it. What do you mean by that?" "What else could it mean?" "Exactly what it sounds like. Eating rich, fatty food every single day? Of course I'm fed up with it." Facing Tfana's gaze, Fang Zheng didn't panic at all and said calmly, "I'm tired of eating heavy, greasy food all the time." Tfana bit her lip gently. Her fists clenched tight. She put her other hand on Fang Zheng's leg and started moving it upward. "Do you have any idea that saying something like that is what a huge insult to a succubus? Are you trying to piss me off on purpose?" Facing Tfana's barely contained rage, Fang Zheng let out a breath and said, "You're overthinking this. I have no reason to anger you like this. Besides, what good would angering you do me? It's been half a year already. I'm not that reckless fool I used to be." "See, I do whatever you say now, don't I? Do whatever I say?" Hearing that, Tfana almost laughed. It was a cold sneer. Fang Zheng was obedient, sure. Now, no matter what she wanted, whatever request she made, He would cooperate obediently, even if it was in public. Right here in this restaurant, he wouldn't have any objection at all. But was he actually tamed? Tfana thought so at first too, that she had completely tamed him. But as time went on, she realized something was very wrong. Even though Fang Jing was fully cooperating with her, the emotions and affection he showed her were getting colder and colder, just like he told Alice in the classroom. That's not submission. It's compliance. Sounds like no difference, right? But take another example. When you're discussing things online and run into a troll, most people will argue back with them. But some people just give up and reply, yeah, you're right. Right now, Tfana is that troll. And Fang Jing is the guy saying, yeah, you're right. It has no offensive power at all. But see it enough times, over a long enough period, and that, yeah, you're right, starts to get really annoying. Tfana finally realized that she never actually conquered him at all. He just doesn't even bother paying attention to her anymore. You say you do what I say, but you go talking to other people, saying you're sick of me. Do you think I'm an idiot? Tfana demanded angrily. I didn't say that, don't make stuff up. The sick of it I was talking about was just a random feeling, that's all. Just think of it as me complaining or bragging, okay? Fang Jing tried to calm her down. The more he acted like this, the angrier Tfana got. She grabbed him by the collar and demanded, what the hell is wrong with you? Do you even take me seriously at all? What's gotten into you? Why are you acting so crazy all of a sudden? Fang Jing said irritably. I'm acting crazy? Tfana took a deep breath, forcing down her anger, stood up, yanking her chair back, then straddled Fang Jing's lap. Hey, what are you doing sitting here? Fang Jing looked at all the succubi around them and the human slaves and was immediately dumbfounded. Come on, this is a public place. Can you not mess around here? We could get fined. Whatever, I don't care. Tfana leaned down and kissed Fang Jing, even though this wasn't the first time. Tfana had forced him to hook up in public. Fang Jing still didn't like doing this. But seeing how serious Tfana was, he just gave up fighting it, leaned back against the chair obediently, and put his arms around her waist. The onlookers watched from a distance. No one dared get close. In a situation like this, getting too close would not only get you targeted, more importantly, the succubus power Tfana was giving off would affect everyone nearby. Watching the steamy scene in front of them, the human slaves felt both envious and terrified. A lot of them didn't have long to live anyway. Even getting a little close could get them killed by Tfana's succubus power. Others had heard of Tfana's reputation. No one dared go near this reckless, powerful, irresistibly tempting succubus. They could only sneak a couple looks from far away. The other succubi stared at Fang Jing greedily. As the most famous private ride in the academy, everyone wanted to turn with him. But almost no one ever got the chance. Tfana guarded him way too closely after all, and everyone was scared of her retaliation. Tsk! Tfana's succubus power really is that strong. No one dares get close. How the hell does Fang Jing even handle it? Is he actually even human? I really want to try him out. I'd spend however many credits it takes. I'm so jealous of Tfana. She's got so many kinky tricks. If this was any other guy, he'd get drained dry in 2 seconds flat, ignoring the whispers and stares from everyone around. Fang Jing stroked Tfana's silver hair, looked at her and asked, what's actually wrong with you today? Do you have some kind of problem with me? I can change. Shut up, don't talk back. You little slut, Tfana snapped coldly. I don't want to. There's too many people around, Fang Jing said awkwardly. Come on, you pathetic doormat, you useless mutt. Tfana kept insulting him, trying to get a rise out of Fang Jing. But Fang Jing was long used to this kind of talk. Under her training, his skin was way thicker than the average person's. He didn't feel the slightest bit upset by any of it. If I'm a mutt, what does that make you? Fosho joked. Tfana gritted her teeth, leaned in and shut him up with a kiss. Her succubus power surged out uncontrollably with her emotions. The watching succubi could all feel that terrifying power, but Fang Jing was handling it just fine. No one could figure out how. Is it all just for show? It's obviously so powerful. How can a human even stand that? No one knew who it was in the crowd. That pushed a human male bystander into Tfana's aura range. He immediately collapsed to the ground, terrified out of his mind, and convulsing all over. Holy shit, seeing that? Everyone scrambled back in fear. Even the succubi stepped back. That's fucking terrifying. How is that even possible? Who could possibly survive that? He was that far away, and he dropped dead instantly. If you got closer and she even touched you. Shit, Fongsun must be some kind of war god. To be able to handle that crazy woman Tfana going at him like that. After seeing what happened to that human guy, no one dared doubt it anymore. Everyone stayed well back where they were. This whole thing went on for 2 whole hours. By the time it was over, it was almost 12. Time for lunch. Tfana got off Fang Jing's lap and sat down on the chair next to him, face flushed, breathing heavily, savoring the incredible, perfect experience. Then she pulled a cigarette out of thin air, snapped her fingers, and a small flame appeared, lighting the cigarette. That's so cool. Fang Jing was impressed by her little trick. A cigarette after sex is better than being a living immortal. You humans really make a lot of sense. Tfana took a drag of her cigarette and blew the smoke right at Fang Jing. Fang Jing, who doesn't smoke, started coughing. He said in disgust, "Smoke all you want! Just don't blow it at me. Isn't that what all the guys on TV do? You never learn the good stuff, only the bad. Be careful. You'll ruin your health smoking like that," Fang Jing said irritably. Tfana was stunned for a second. She stared at him blankly. "Are you worried about me? Don't flatter yourself. I just don't want to breathe your secondhand smoke." The more you don't like it, the more I'm gonna do it. Suit yourself. They rested for a while just like that. Fang Jing, who was feeling hungry and weak, kicked Tfana's leg and said, "I'm hungry. Go get me something to eat. We just finished eating not long ago, and you're hungry again." Tfana turned her head and asked in surprise. Fang Jing said irritably, "It's been over 2 hours already. How is that just finished eating? The strength I recovered this morning all got drained by you. You still have the nerve to say that." Tfana blushed from being scolded. She quickly stood up and said, Okay. I'll go buy it for you, all right? Just wait here." Tfana walked toward the food-serving window. Fang Jing looked back, only to find Tfana's little accessory left on the table. He was speechless for a moment. "1 nutrient meal, please." "All right." After buying from this window, Tfana went to another window and bought a human-style lunch. After Tfana left, a few succubi ran over and crouched on the ground studying it. There's never a shortage of perverts at Succubus Academy. Fang Jing, who saw this scene, was super embarrassed. Being studied by a group of beautiful succubi. That's just absurd. The most embarrassing part was some of them even tasted it, and even looked totally delighted while doing it. "I bought 2 meals. I'm pretty nice to you, right?" Tfana put the 2 meals in front of Fang Jing and asked arrogantly. Fang Jing threw the little accessory to her and said, "Put it on." "That's so embarrassing." "What's the big deal?" "It's slipping." Fang Jing pointed behind him. "Really?" Tfana turned around to look. She nodded absently, then turned back and teased Fang Jing, who asked you to be so well-endowed. "How is that my fault? You walked around without putting it on. If this was the human world, do you know what would happen to you?" Fang Jing said irritably. Tfana smiled scornfully and said, "Only if they can get close enough to me first." Yeah, you're the toughest," Fang Jing said indulgently, then picked up chopsticks and started eating. Tfana didn't act up too much. She still listened to him. After putting it on obediently, she sat down next to him and watched him eat. "Aren't you hungry?" Fang Jing asked. "What do you think?" Tfana rested her cheek on her hand, licked her cherry lips, and looked at him meaningfully. "Looks like you're at the Enidia realm that's in those Xianxia novels, right?" "The Enidia realm. Oh, Enidia, I know that. That's absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, right?" Tfana cut in quickly. "I'm actually pretty much the same. As long as I have enough lust energy, I don't need food at all." Like that energy of yours comes for free or something. You got it all by leeching off me, didn't you?" Fang Jing huffed coldly. "You're my slave. To me, you're just equipment. A tool. Even if you're gone, I'll just find someone else." Tfana lit another cigarette as she spoke. Fang Jing frowned and said unhappily, "Who'd you learn all this from? Why do you keep smoking lately?" "I learned it from you humans. When you have a lot on your mind, you like to do this. Actually, compared to smoking, I like drinking more. It's just that you won't let me drink, right?" Tfana said, "No kidding. Have you seen how you get when you're drunk? How dare I let you drink? Fang Jing retorted. When it came to the drinking incident, Fang Shou rarely showed such excited emotion. Last time Tfana got drunk and went totally wild. Her succubus nature took over. She dragged Fang Jing and messed around all night. And it was different from her usual outbursts. She was completely acting on a whim. If you ignore her stunning looks, she was just a drunk, rowdy hooligan. Tactic! I didn't expect I'd act like that day either. Thinking back on it now, it was so much fun. That was probably the most fun, most unrestrained time we've had, right? Tfana said nostalgically. You thought it was fun. Don't drag me into it. You're a total perverted hooligan when you're drunk. You not only forced me to help you, you also pinned me down all over the place. Just thinking about what happened that day. Even Fang Jing, who's usually pretty unflappable now, would turn bright red from head to toe. His whole body would tingle, and he'd get goosebumps all over. It was also that time Fang Jing put a knife directly to his own neck and forced Tfana to promise she would never drink again. So Tfana switched to picking up smoking instead. Smoke less, okay. If you get bad breath later, I won't let you kiss me anymore. Fang Jing warned her. Huh? Tfana was stunned for a second, looked at the cigarette in her hand, then bit her lip lightly. Does smoking affect your breath? Yeah, smoke too much and your breath will be super stinky and gross. And your teeth will turn yellow. Your lungs will turn black. And you'll even lose your hair. Fang Jing rambled on about all the bad effects of smoking. Tfana got a little nervous listening to him. That's kind of scary, isn't it? It's just a cigarette. Is it really that bad? What do you think? There's a foreign exorcist named John Constantine. Even Satan couldn't convince him of anything. Do you know how he died in the end? How did he die? Tfana asked curiously. He got late-stage lung cancer from smoking. What? Tfana's eyes widened in shock. She stood up immediately, threw away the cigarette in her hand, turned around and left right away. Hey, where are you going? To find Instructor Xena. Watching Tfana's leaving figure, Fang Jing couldn't help but burst out laughing. Dumb succubus, she actually believed that. Did you forget you're not even human? After finishing lunch, Fang Jing went back to Tfana's dorm. Now for him, he just needs to use his own ID card, and he can open the dorm door too. That's the permission Tfana gave him. It's different for Kalen. Usually when Alice isn't around, he can only go back to his old dorm. After getting back to the dorm, Fang Jing went to the bathroom to take a shower. After finishing the shower, he went to Tfana's big bed and laid down. I was tormented all night yesterday, and got tormented again this morning. That woman is really going to be the death of me, he complained quietly. Then Fang Jing closed his eyes to rest. As the sun set in the west, Hosho woke up, only to find himself pinned to the head of the bed. Tifa. That woman started again. What's going on? When did you come back? Fang Jing looked at Tfana in shock. Tfana flicked her hair back. She looked at Fang Jing with misty eyes and said, I've been back for ages. Guess how long? Looking at Tfana's amorous look, Fang Jing couldn't help but make a guess. How is that possible? Why didn't I wake up? Fang Jing asked confusedly, because I didn't want you to wake up. Why? I wanted to test something. What is it? Tfana stared straight at Fang Jing and asked, You did it on purpose, didn't you? What? That cold and distant attitude you've put on these days, being quiet and uncommunicative, and that indifferent look you have when you're with me in bed. You're faking all of this, aren't you? What makes you think that? Fang Jing asked. Tfana snorted. I had no idea what was going on before either, she said. So when I went to ask Teacher Snona about the cigarette issue, I talked about this stuff, by the way. Teacher Snona told me, humans are very dishonest creatures. Most of the time they clearly like something a lot, but they pretend they don't. You guys love lying too, saying one thing but meaning the opposite. So if you want to know what you're really thinking, you can't get the answer just by asking, I don't understand what you mean. Fosho said, You don't understand? Tfana pinched Fang Jing's chin and questioned him. Then why when I did things to you while you were asleep? You reacted so strongly. No matter which aspect you look at, you were way more cooperative than when you're awake. You even took the initiative. I don't know what you're talking about. You're lying. Your mouth can lie, but your body can't. You were so passionate when you were asleep, but you act all cold once you wake up. You're just pretending to be cold on purpose. You're intentionally not cooperating with me. Am I right? Tfana questioned. Faced with Tfana's questioning, Fangjing sighed and said, I have no other choice. To live longer and not sink into desire, I can only force myself to stay calm, especially when I'm intimate with you. When we first met, back when you liked me, you were so cooperative every time, so passionate. Your body and mind weren't affected back then, right? Fangjing, whose lie had been exposed, turned his head away and chose to stay silent. Tfana calmed down. She stroked Fangjing's cheek and asked, Is it because of what happened before? Are you still holding a grudge against me? That's only part of it. Fangjing said indifferently. Even if you are mad at me, there's no need to take it out on our time in bed, right? It's such a beautiful thing, but you hold yourself back, so I can't feel your passion. Your pleasure? It really makes me miserable. Tfana said, Miserable? If you're miserable, then I'll be very happy, Fangjing said to her with a smile. Tfana had rarely seen him smile lately, but this smile was full of provocation, which was disgusting. What exactly do you want? Are you really going to force me to find another man? Tfana said angrily. Go ahead if you want to. I'm your slave, not your master. I have no right to force you to do anything, Fangjing said sarcastically. You! Tfana was so angry. She bit her lip. She was really furious at this man. She didn't want to break her own rules. But if Fangjing kept going on like this, the pleasure she could get would only get less and less. Most importantly, Fangjing himself might really, because of holding back for too long, lose interest in me. As a succubus, she couldn't imagine that her own man would have no feelings for her. That would be the greatest insult possible. Holding back is a very painful thing. I know that. So just tell me what conditions you have. Don't make things so messy. If you want to take revenge on me, you can do it anywhere. Just not in bed. This is really not good. Tfana persuaded him almost in a pleading tone. Hosho took a deep breath. Looking at Tfana's perfect, sexy figure, he said, You guessed right. I do have a request. As long as you promise me, I won't be too cold to you in the future. I might even take the initiative sometimes. How's that, hearing this? Tfana's eyes lit up. For her now, she hadn't felt Fangjing's passion for a long time. And him taking the initiative, she had almost forgotten what that was like. She only remembered back then at the equipment building. Fangjing, who was still deeply in love with her back then, took the initiative once, but it was too long ago. Tfana had already forgotten how that felt. But she knew for sure. It must be wonderful. After all, she couldn't live without Fangjing anymore. What's the condition? Tell me. I want to go to the library. Hosho said. What library? Tfana's eyes widened, looking very surprised. What are you going there for? That's a place only succubi can enter. I heard people say there are a lot of books in the library. All kinds of legends, all kinds of ancient classics, even magic books. Do you want to learn magic? Tfana chuckled softly and said, Learning magic requires talent. You, a mere human, want to learn magic. That's just wishful thinking. Can't humans learn magic? Fangjing asked. They can, but this is the Succubus Academy, not your human Hogwarts. No one will teach you. Most importantly, the first step to learning magic is awakening. Awakening means activating your magic talent. Only after you awaken can you feel the magic elements in nature and start learning. Then how can I awaken? Fangjing asked impatiently. Tfana shook her head. I don't know about that. There's no record of that in the Succubus Academy. There's only information about succubi here. If you want to know how to let a human awaken magic, you'd have to go to Hogwarts. What about the library? Would there be any record there? Don't even think about it. Even if there is, it would never be placed in the library.